Welcome to Season 2 of the Call of Duty Elite Series for the Challengers Division 2021 season, and it is a new day here over on this side of the stream. I am Spaceman, that is Fox and Alley, and this is Season 2. It was a tremendous wrap-up at the end of Season 1 just a month ago. Time seems to fly, but now we have new rosters, new storylines, and new things to fight over, new standings, new prizing, all that kind of stuff. I'm so excited to get into the action. I'm so excited to be joined by you lovely faces, two of the best versions of carbon atoms that have ever been put together. I'm so happy that Fox and Allie are with me. Fox, first of all, how you doing? And welcome to Season 2.
Hey man, I'm doing great, just being a carbon bond out here. I'm glad for us to have this bond together. Looking forward to the show this week. We got some awesome matchups coming, great new teams competing in the Challenger Series, and it's going to be a good show.
Allie, welcome back as well. You and I were able to close out North America last time, and we saw the dominance of New York Sunliners Academy. But how have you been enjoying the offseason, and are you ready for all the upcoming roster changes we're going to talk about?
I'm doing good, Space. I told you before this, I was itching to get back into casting some Call of Duty. I didn't expect, to have a little bit of a science class today, so thank you for that traumatizing experience. But I'm very excited to cast with both of you going into today's matches.
Well, hopefully our look at the groups will be a little bit more timid and we can just feast our eyes on all of the different action that has transpired during the off season, because it's been a lot. And here's the groups for Europe, because we're going to start with this region first. You got Elite 2, Connect 4, Rams, 67K from Passion down to Orglis. So there's a couple of rosters in here that haven't really changed. Europe's been kind of spared from Rostermania, but there are noticeable and noteworthy differences in some of these rosters, which again, we will get into. But Europe, again, you're looking at Orglis and Rams for really the top two teams. Connect 4 and Train Hard trying to move themselves into that position. But Orglis and Rams, the number 1 and 2 respectively, who qualified through the Elite Series the last season, and they move on to Stage 2. They didn't have to worry about the knockout gauntlet that was that playoff bracket. But again, now you're trying to defend your title and or make your way up there. Fox, looking at how Orglis and Rams have stayed as a solid roster, I'm very surprised and I'm very happy that two of the best teams in the region did not make a roster change.
For sure. I mean, you look at Rams, Nvidia and Journey, Lucky Metals. They got Coach Nacho alongside them. We haven't really said a whole lot about him, but that is a crucial addition to this Spanish team. I mean, these guys won Call of Duty Challenger Season 1 playoffs. They haven't stopped with that either. They've been playing in the EEG EU League where they won the playoffs as well. These guys have made over $30,000 playing Call of Duty since January. We're in the month of March. They got a whole year COD left to them, and we're just getting started for the Stage 2 of the Challenger Series.
That's a lot of money to be able to put in your pockets. And I know that every team in this region is going to be fighting for their share of that. But with North America, it's an interesting difference. But before we even get to that point, we want to take a look again at kind of the top two teams in Alley. We just talked a little bit about the $30,000 that they were able to accrue. But you look at a team like Rams, and I look at that team who such a successful Season 1, Lucky, who has been electric. I mean, they say no roster change, none needed, and they are going to look to defend their place in the top two. Do you think that having a consistency across the board and keeping that core four together is going to help propel them to possibly another championship?
Well, the thing with EU is they definitely don't change up, I feel like, as much as the NA region has in this past little area we've had for roster change. And when it comes to Rams, my personal opinion on them was they were so good at defensive rounds and they were so good at respawn, and when it comes to offensive, they just kind of lacked a little bit. So I'm happy they ended up staying together, because I want to see if any of those quirks were fixed. I want to see if there were any little minor changes made it in their teamwork so that they were able to kind of take a step back and retake over those offensive rounds. So I'm very excited to see any changes they made going into this.
Yeah, the storyline going into that is very much a team that is almost completely unstoppable in respawn, and we have numbers to back that up, so we'll be able to provide you with such. But we look at kind of the schedule for today, and at least the first matchup, we know we have Passion and Rams. And Passion is an interesting roster, but again, I'm still focused on arguably the number 1 team in Europe, which is this Rams squad. They are so dominant in respawn, but not only that, they just have a tendency to continue to get better as time goes goes on, and you just look at the roster, right? Journey, Lucky, Metals, and Invidian, who a lot of people didn't have on their radar at the start of season 1, and he has exploded as an AR for this roster. And of course, you have, Lucky, who is arguably the #1 respawn player in Europe right now. I mean, his numbers are ridiculous. Real quick, I'll tell you, he's got a 1.26 in hardpoint and a 1.20 across all modes. Like, Fox, you're almost averaging a 1.30 in hardpoint. I think it's kind of hard to lose hardpoint if you're doing that well. What does it mean for a roster to have a Slayer like this who's so consistent across all 3 modes?
At times, it feels like you got a 5th man, right? That's just a statistic like that. It makes it look like the opposing team is going to be playing a man down, and that just makes things a lot easier for trying to capitalize on the objective.
Well, there's been a couple of interesting GAs that have come out recently, but here's the schedule for today, and we will get into all of that meta discussion as the games go on. But up first, it's Passion versus Rams. It's a matchup a lot of people have been wanting to see, and don't worry, we're going to give it to you, followed by Elite 2 and Team Moon. And then for North America at 5 o'clock Pacific time, Fantastic Four versus Subliners Academy, another massive storyline. And then Easter versus Higher. So at some point, we will see Easter versus Wester. That's going to be a very weird matchup, but here are the maps for the first series of the day. Let's stick on board with it. It's Passion and Rams, and more importantly, it's a lot of the same. It's Checkmate Moscow Raid. Yes, Express is now in rotation for S&D. Crossroads Hardpoint is out in favor of Apocalypse, and Garrison S&D is gone. We now put in Express, so things get a little bit more interesting, and we get a little bit of a jump back to like 2012, 2013 time. But Ali, looking at the map layout for the start of this series again, Checkmate becoming a bit of a fan favorite and a bit of a player favorite as well for at least game 1s, and Moscow following it up in that S&D. Again, we got to look at just the hardpoint caliber and the respawn caliber of this Rams team. It looks like these maps might favor them, but what are you noticing, at least on the slate, that keeps your eye out on what this matchup could be?
The only thing I think could be kind of a back and forth, as I am favoring Rams going into this, is that Denza on the side of Passion for S&D, I feel like that's their only chance to kind of maybe flip the script when it comes to Rams, just because Rams are so good at respawn, they're so good at defensive.
Sure.
So I want to see what this new Passion roster can kind of bring to the table to a team that's, stuck together.
Well, I think we're ready for game 1, and more importantly, we're ready for the start of season 2 of the Challengers Elite Series. Fox, we will bid you adieu, and we'll come back to you in just a couple of moments, but we have to go through our first potential 5-game series to start. And you're looking at this Passion roster in Bids, Weeman, Denza, and Hixie. The duo of Bids and Denza from Singularity continues, and they bring in Weeman from House Tarth and Hixie from Obtain. So I like the fact that we have kept that duo of Bids and Denza together. They have been so successful on that Singularity roster. Of course, Singularity didn't have the greatest season 1, but you bring in Weeman and that just veteran experience and that AR presence. I really feel like this Passion roster can turn some heads and make some waves, but they have to do it against the best team arguably in Europe at this point, and one of the best respawn teams we've ever seen.
And as we hop right into it, Space, I was going to say the last thing Passion wants to do is let Rams get that early rotation, that early defensive setup when it comes to Checkmate. But already right off the bat, Passion was able to break in and maybe catch them a little bit on surprise. But we want to see a rotation coming out of here soon, as there is only 15 seconds left in this hard point. And number 5 and 6 spawning up on your mini-map. Lucky and Metals are already on top of the next hard point, setting up for another defensive hold.
And I think the analysis sometimes can be as simple as this, Al. You need to shut down Lucky. There is no question, ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's holding a 1.26 hardpoint KD going into the season, and almost a 1.20 across the board in all respawns. The dude is just a different animal. He has that sixth sense of knowing where to be at all times, when to pick up the appropriate kills, and that makes the job of the AR so much easier on this Rams roster. But off the start, a decent break through the back from Hixie. He's able to clean up 1 kill. It's Metals inside the point, and we pop for NASA, so still plenty of time to fight over, but it comes down to translating those kills into positive time. Almost a dead even game to start, but again, Passion will get the break and they'll get the early time.
Beautiful play out of Hixie to kind of just make noise in the spawn to force a lot of the Rams players to turn around while the cavalry kind of hit the front and took the last 20 seconds off this hard point. So Passion is in the lead with 53-21, and you were talking about Lucky kind of being that factor, kind of being that shutdown, and it looks like that's what they're doing. Lucky's only 2-5. Could just be a slow start, but if Passion keep going the way they're going right now, this could be a game that starts getting away from the Rams very quickly.
Yeah, and it's going to be difficult to just come in with a game plan saying, let's take out one player consistently. And you can't really do that, but you can make their job more difficult. Utilize those nades, those stuns, and try to take out the trophies in the hill so you know he's going to be that frontline main sub. Take him out of the equation, then it gets easier to break consistently. But we sit at the bottom of the plane for P3. We've just popped, and you're looking at Invidian to lock down the outskirts. He picks up the first kill, and Bids will be on the opposite side. Hixie trades out Journey, so numbers advantage for the moment for Passion. They didn't sit inside with Hixie, and he eventually gets cut down. 2 will fall. Plane control going back the way of Rams, and now you look at the outskirts hold, but Weeman drops, and now it just comes down to getting those flurry of kills inside the hill or control through the top of the plane.
It's funny to see how these last couple of seconds on this hard point are now going to everybody just kind of flooding underneath the plane, or in the beginning, you know, they're all very spread out trying to play those angles, and no time really wins either way. So Rams still have that kind of lead going here, but they are dedicating a lot to going onto this plane and getting this plane control, going into the next hard point. And Rams, they're all a little stacked right now, so they might get picked off in the trades that are up forth and coming as Bids tries to catch a couple from plane and get in that control.
Looks like a 2-on-1 hit inside, and 1 will drop. Bids under screen, entirely too weak for a second gunfight, but still able to get inside and scramble for about 5 or so seconds. Now he sits ready and waiting. Journey on the other side of the crate, and Lucky in the back. You're looking for that front duo push, but no one's going to collapse yet. Finally, come through, and Bids picks up the kill. Mel's gonna roam onto the plane, and he picks up the gunfight. A massive win from your sub. Weeman shuts him down 96-52. So here come the nades, and here comes the contest. But even within the last 30 or so seconds, I mean, this hill's really been locked down by Passion, and it was Rams who get the late break, but still the contest comes through. No one's been able to get a clean hold for maybe 20-30 seconds, and again, we sit at a highly contested game going into P4.
Hixie once again kind of behind enemy lines, trying to maybe be a menace in the spawn, but he will get taken down by Lucky, who's finally starting to heat up. He's about 10-10 across the board, but Rams are still not in the hill. I mean, the next hill is pop. What looked like was spawns. What looked like was an early setup. Passion, once again, I mean, they just get the picks and they push forward, and now Rams are stuck spawning in this corner, and Passion knows they're there, and they're just going to start picking them off spawn. They don't even have to be in time just yet. And this is now 50-point game space. Rams just haven't been able to get a really good hold on any of these hard points. They have been losing all these early rotations and haven't been able to get up and set up and be that defensive team that we know that they are.
Well, once this hill popped, it was Invidian sitting in the back of wood, and he was able to lock spawn, so you can just push numbers through and go for a contest. But again, it comes down to getting the kills inside. There's the follow-up, and Journey gets shut down. Journey, who was on Atlanta FaZe Academy last season, such a massive standout. But off this start, Rams have not had a great time holding the hills for long periods of time, and that's just been credit to Passion. 14-11 for Weeman. Bids and Hixie combining for around 26 kills or so, and just still a lot of control in the plane to be fought over, but Hixie will pick up the gunfight, and Denza at 11 and 12, about a minute's time. But I'm just impressed with the consistency from Passion to go for the early breaks and maintain that and look for the spawns in the back, as Rams cannot find anything.
Rams need somebody to start answering to Hixie. You can't let him get behind you and get that early setup and plane like that and just take down 2 players. And again, what seemed like a good hold for Rams, I mean, he just picked it apart, and he's been doing it in almost every single rotation. I mean, he is 16 and 12. He has just been behind enemy lines. He's doing it once again, just forcing them to turn around and forcing them to waste time trying to pick him out from behind them.
The call was single file through the back of the plane, and I like that decision. Try to force the issue right on the hill and go for the contest. At least stop the bleeding. There's plenty of time to come back in this one, but you're down by close to 100. Weeman's still hunting for that last kill under the wing. Let's see if he finds it and roams around the back. Elects to hop off the play and just set up for new. Now we look at the P2 rotation. It's going to come down to Weeman. Can he find Metals in the back? Metals must sense someone's around, and he'll pick up the kill, and that's a huge shutdown because it reaffirms spawns in the back. It allows you to get reinforcements through, but another kill comes through for Passion. They have broken on through, but the close spawn is there for Rams. And what can Metals find? He finds one.
Close spawn on Metals. He needs to play his life and would just wait for the rest of his team to get back here, which is exactly what he does. I want to see him hop on time here and just start holding that front line so his team can worry about the rest of Passion that's spawning into plane. A couple trades start going down. Time finally looking like it's going the side of Rams, and it's not going to be contested here for a good minute, but Rams need another 1 or 2 good holds if they want to get back into this game.
15 and 15, about dead even on the 3 spree, as Lucky will sit inside plane for now. No one's been contested in the hill. We've burned about 30 or so seconds off the clock. Finally, Rams will cross the 100-point mark. I say that, and Invidian's the only one near the hill. Finally, he'll hop in, and Weeman and Denza working together. Gonna push through the front. Shots ring out, nades fly out, Wee Man down. Never mind, he picks up 2 kills. Still alive somehow, picks up the third. What a pre-read that was. 182 to 101. And now we look at a situation where Rams completely flip the script. They have a chance to bring themselves back in this game, but it comes down to under the plane. Can they find the necessary kills? That's 3 dead. Bins clean up metals, but I think they might have done enough damage to help them secure some time on this early hill.
Rams could absolutely not let Passion send only 2 onto Old and get them not only off the scrap, but also not allow them to rotate under plane, because here we go, Passion once again just picking off Rams as they try and make their way under the plane to try and get some time going their way. Passion have just been playing this incredibly well. They're winning all their gunfights. That's 4 down on the side of Rams. This is definitely looking in favor of Passion. I mean, everybody across the board is going off pretty well. Journey still has yet to heat up. Lucky not doing what we're used to Lucky doing. And now Passion, they hit the 200 mark. This is a 100-point game space.
Well, your AR Invidian is not having a great game, and Lucky at front sub isn't either. Hixie gets shot down. A little bit of footwork on the opposite side. Metals will pick up 1. It's a team kill, though, so trades come out back and forth. 209 to 110. And Wee Man with a big kill. That clears out the hard point and allows him to move through, at least for positioning, towards mid-map. And Lucky going to try to funnel through the back. Metal shuts down both. Looking for the third. It's Hixie on the inside. Lucky will get the gunfight. All 4 dead, and what a break from Rams. They're going to have early time set up, and the back spawns for Passion. I mean, you're looking at another 10, 15 seconds before they can really contest this hill.
Amazing play out of Metals, so able to pick up 3 and get that playing control, and now finally some good time going on the side of Rams. For your Passion here, I mean, maybe one more push, but it looks like they're going to maybe try to set up for next. You know, you have the time, you can give up this last 20 seconds and just get ready for the next rotation, but they aren't letting that happen as 2 go down on the side of Rams. And now once again, Passion are in the hill. They're going to try and fight for this last 20 seconds. Neither team looking like they're going to start making a rotation here, as they want this scrap time more than the other one. But number 3, that's Hixie. He's trying to get behind enemy lines once again. He does win the gunfight. That's now 4 down for Rams. Once again, Rams, I feel like we've seen the kill feed light up blue time and time again, and they're dedicating so much to 2 seconds onto Old, and they're nowhere close to the next hard point.
In the win condition now, for Passion at least, is scrap time. You can win it on any hill at this point. For Rams, you must contest and at least get a full 60 if you want a realistic chance, but you also have to contest. No one's been able to move into the hill, and at 2:45 and counting, only 5 more seconds needed. I don't think anyone's going to get there. Rams get completely slaughtered off the point. There's nowhere to be found. No one wandering through mid-map. 250 to 137. It's Passion taking game 1, and a very strong statement in that final hard point to say you are not getting anywhere near this contest, and we're going to close out this first game.
Absolutely incredible. Passion never gave Rams a second to breathe. They never allowed Rams to set up. They never allowed Rams to get in their defensive hold. They never let them get to their positions and just kind of sit there. Passion was always on top of them. They were always picking them off a rotation. They were always picking them off the spawn. They never gave them a second to just kind of breathe and set up a defensive hold, and I feel like that was a huge win condition for Rams.
And here's what's scary now. I mean, before we even get into the S&D, you're just looking at a Passion team that are S&D fluent in multiple different tongues. And you look at the hard point, and there were multiple times where even with 2, 3, 4 kills in the kill feed, all blue for Passion, Rams had plenty of chances to be able to break into the hill. But with Invidian having a slow game, and you look at Lucky, who, yeah, we put a lot of weight on his shoulders, but given his stats, he's kind of brought that upon himself. He has a very, very quiet hard point. And when you're, your best AR and your sub aren't really contributing, that is when things start to crumble. Let's take a look at the replay from map 1. For Rams, look, it's the start of a new season. There's obviously a lot on the line, but you just got to start somewhere. So the building blocks begin now. But again, it's just a little bit of a disappointing performance if you are a Rams fan. But looking at Passion, I don't think a lot of people would have expected them to kind of dominate in the respawn, at least the start of the series. But Ali, they were holding their own off the opening start, and they were just continuing to find those extra kills to propel them forward.
The only thing that makes me kind of teeter-totter on the side of Rams is, Passion's a new team. This is a new roster, and something that we see a lot of times when it comes to newer teams is they kind of catch the old ones by surprise. The people who kind of stick together, the new rosters usually just catch them off guard a little bit. So I'm wondering if maybe we just saw that in this hard point. We saw a couple moments where Rams started to kind of take it back. We saw Metals taking over plane. We saw Lucky starting to heat up a little bit. So maybe, I'm hoping that's what it is, and I'm hoping going into it, we see Rams kind of, after this, kind of chalk it up, and we see what we're used to seeing out of Rams. But I mean, Passion, again, I can't knock any of what they've done, because they look incredible. Like I said, they never gave Rams a second to breathe. I feel like if they just keep pushing, we'll see that going into the rest of the series.
Yeah, honeymoon periods can absolutely be a factor, but we also see teams that sometimes you have 4 really talented players that just don't mesh, they don't work out, and sometimes it's just about playing Tetris. You get them off on a different roster, you start picking apart pieces, and then you find that a team like Passion can all of a sudden just click on the right day and start off their series really hot. And now we look at S&D in our second game mode Moscow, right? You're looking at a map where even just the team Passion, an average of a 1.20 in S&D for Bids and Denza combined. This is an S&D heavy team. Like, they will run the tables on you. So if you are a Rams fan, might be a little bit worried going into this, because the Rams KD and S&D, just at least standpoint wise, was nowhere above 1.0. So this is a situation for Passion where you can absolutely go up 2-0, and to take down the number one team in Europe like this, I think would set your season off to a hot start and really show people that this team is for real. But we look at Moscow S&D and how defensive heavy it can be, especially towards the A-bomb site, and let alone that B is rarely utilized. But Ali, who do you need to stand out for Rams, because they are down 1-0. On the other side, it's a very S&D heavy squad. Who are you looking at for Rams that needs to step through?
I want to see some weight kind of get taken off of Lucky and shoulders, and look at Metals and Journey for sure. I feel like they definitely have the opportunity here. And Journey, again, like I said, he started to heat up. We saw Metals get a couple of 3 pieces going into that hard point. So I'm hoping they kind of keep the heels hot as Lucky starts to heat up, and then all 3 of them together. Of course, Nvidian doing what Nvidian does. Rams, I feel like we'll see more out of them in the S&D than we did in the hard point for sure. In Passion, I look on the side of Bids and Denza, like you said, and I look on the side of Hixie, who's just been behind enemy lines time and time again. What I'm hoping to see is for Rams to kind of know that about him now and have that information to start turning around, start sending somebody to kind of challenge Hixie, so they don't have to watch their backs every 5 seconds. Because if they don't, I feel like Passion might just end up picking them apart.
And I believe we have some Rams stats for season 1 that we were able to take a look at. And again, they were pretty prolific when it came to hardpoint. You got a 1.07 for Nvidian and Lucky, the #1 hardpoint in Europe, 1.26 KD. He was averaging a 1.18 across all 3 modes. S&D is where things kind of falter a little bit, but still, this team is respawn heavy, right? So if you're going to have your best chance at beating the #1 team in Europe, you got to take respawns off of them. That comes in the hard points and the controls, but the controls consistent across the board. Look at everyone. Journey 1.6, Lucky at a 1.19, everyone at least 1.04. So when your control is that consistent, your hard point is that reliant on Lucky, sure, that can cause its own conversation, but that just shows you the strength of this team in respawn. So you're going to have to at least steal one off of them in a series. So far, Passion have done that. And now we move to Moscow S&D, and now we move to a situation where Passion are in complete control of going up 2-0. And again, here's the map layout, and there was map 1. You saw it. We loved it. Passion and Rams going head to head for the first match of Europe, for the first match of the second season of Challengers Elite. And Ali, we move into Moscow S&D, and we have seen some wacky ones. We have seen some weird ones. I am just looking forward to seeing what Lucky can do. I'm looking forward to seeing what Nvidian can pull off, and more importantly, the duo of Bids and Denza in S&D, a combined average of like 1.2. That is disgusting. So I'm very, very much looking forward to their potential success on this second game. But your kind of predictions, looking at this series across the board, should we go to a necessary game 4 hardpoint? Do you think we're going to be looking at a 2-0, or do you think that Rams are going to be able to steal this S&D and then get themselves back in the series?
I do think we might be able to we're going to be going into a 2-0. I believe 100% that Passion is going to take this S&D. Rams, unfortunately, I think they're just too slow. They enter panic mode a little bit in S&D. They sit back. They wait for a really long time. And then as the clock starts ticking, that's when they start making their moves. And I feel like Passion's really going to they're going to bully them for that. I feel like Passion's going to take advantage of that. So I feel like because Passion already has that hard point under their belt, I believe they're going to get the S&D under their belt. I don't think the control is going to go the way of Passion.
All right, so yeah, you're looking at the series layout. We have Moscow and checkmate twice in a row. We've had that in the beginning of season 1 as well. It seems to be the players have preferred that kind of rotation. Checkmate 1 and 3, Moscow 2 and 4. Raid again will be a decisive if necessary game 5 S&D, but also a quick reminder that Apocalypse is now in place of Crossroads Hardpoint, and for S&D, we have taken out Garrison. We've put in Express. So we have brought back a map from Black Ops 2 that many people love and revere. I am one of them. Look, if we see someone get killed by the train today, I will be a very happy man. But All I know is that Apocalypse is one of our new hardpoint maps, and we will be taking out Crossroads in place of it. A lot of people have been giving high praise to Apocalypse in terms of its 3 lanes, and I know that the first 2-3 hardpoints are in the middle of the map, so your subs better eat. But at this point in time, we are still making sure everyone's good to go, and with the fact that Moscow's up next, you guys know the drill. Esky control, baby. Put your trophies down on the site, and at this moment, all I want to know is, will Rams bounce back? Will they have what it takes to take the S&D and tie this one up at 1-1? Or will Passion decide, you know what? Today is the day we knock down the kings of Europe. And with that said, let's get into game 2. Let's get into Moscow S&D. Let's see what Passion can do. Well, I'm hesitant to move up. Metals puts a couple of warning shots out. Seeing basically a 3-1 on the island split. 3 members of Passion will be at that A site. It's Denza rotating through B. The first blood goes for Lucky. You're looking at the Rams collapse now onto the A bomb. It's has to back up. Big gunfight from Lucky. 2v4. Make that a 2v3. Hixie will find one. And Invidian close back. Has to fight for his life. Lucky with a great trade and the collapse in. And quickly, Rams will pick up their first round.
Definitely not what we expected of Rams for them to take that first round off of Passion. I am back and ready better than ever, and I'm very surprised to see Lucky. Of course, that's who we talk about going to this S&D, especially you, Spaceman. Getting a good 2 right here. Nice nade. Gonna catch. Let's see, looks like we catch Denza off guard. So Rams, I mean, excellent response out of them coming off that hard point to take that first round in the S&D.
I think Lucky might have gotten all 4 kills in that round. He basically picks up everyone he does on a 4 spree, getting relatively close to streaks. And again, the meta's kind of changed, right? So no XM4s anymore. We've moved to Kriegs. We might see a QBZ at some point today. I don't know if that's what these players will decide, but I was watching a couple run it recently in scrims, and it certainly shreds. I'll give them that. Utility flies out. A couple of stuns onto the A side. You're looking at Hixie on your screen, going to move in. Trying to find that first pick on the metals, but bomb goes down quickly.
I wish Lucky played that a little faster and kind of punished them going into elevators, but he did end up backing up and making the rotation. So now all of it's looking in the way of Passion, as Rams is not only down 1, but they're all kind of stuck in the back of spawn. Lucky thankfully able to take one down, so it is now a 3v3, but this is going to be very hard to break. We're going to need to see a little bit of some trade and some aggression out of Rams, which is what we're starting to get. Now it's 2v1 as they get punished because Lucky turned on back on the side of being weak. 20 seconds left on the clock. This is looking like it's going to go the way of Passion's face.
Well, if I'm Lucky, I'm playing for streaks, and it's certainly playing your life. We men don't want to challenge that too often. Krieg in hand, 5-0, and that bomb will not get defused. So here comes the collapse from Wee Man through the back. Surely Lucky notices, picks up 1, looking for the second challenge. Do it to him, and he gets shut down. Lucky not able to get the streaks, but a win for Passion is a win nonetheless. Tied up 1-1.
Definitely unfortunate for Rams just because I believe Lucky and Journey went in together, but Journey got taken down and Lucky was just kind of making it for the peak, take one down and get out, but unfortunately the numbers were not in the side of Rams. So now 1-1. Moscow very back and forth S&D map. Probably not going to see many B pushes here, as we've talked about. I hate when teams go for the B push. A lot of A contesting going on here.
I love when teams go for the B push because it's so weird. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it works beautifully. We've seen both the former and the latter in Season 1. We'll see how it works now with a flank through mid. Journey picks up the first kill. Traded out 3v3. Bomb down in a very bad spot, and Passion should know. Bomb is right under the awning of the window. On the outside, it's Invidian at Metro. You know, pick up 1 kill, which actually opens up the B site. I don't think he knows that, but at least gives some room for Lucky to pick up the bomb. Lucky does and escapes with his life. And now the slow rotation from Passion over to put numbers at B. And that bomb should be getting called out to move to A because it's completely open. Metals has not seen anyone, and he won't until he rotates.
Huge play out of Metals to get that information that A is completely open. So now he has pushed up control and he can just wait for Passion to kind of make a peek. He's going to see both of them in the back. He gets to take down one, but Hixie slides his way through. But Lucky says to walk right into my shot punch here, and I got you going into the next round. So 2-1. Rams now up in the S&D. Not something I totally expected out of them, but huge play out of Metals. Like I said, good shots out of Invidian onto Wee Man to get that bomb site back. Rams, I mean, they're looking good going down and from that hard point.
Well, that was a big kill from Invidian. As soon as he picks up Weeman, I mean, let alone just the information at B, but they're not going to challenge Metro. They can't win that gunfight. So essentially the round was won there. You can open up to A and just flood through with numbers. And a heads up play to grab that bomb quickly and make the advancement. Hixie, your bomb carrier. All the utility in the world to work with. And you're looking at Weeman on the bottom of the minimap again, in a similar situation where Invidian was, looking for that first blood all the way in the back of police. It will be Invidian, who is not going to be anywhere near Main Street.
Very slow push.
Metals is around here.
Metals has the information that Hixie is back here. And we're going to see a lot of utility be used here. And finally, a rotation out of Passion. I almost wish they did it a little sooner once they kind of threw everything, kind of pretended like they were going to do that fast A push and then maybe do a rotation onto B. But because they slowed down so much, it allowed Rams to kind of set up and start picking them off. But still a 3v3. Bomb still has to go down. 36 seconds left on the clock. We're going to see a mid push coming out of Passion. No information on the side of Rams that they're doing this, so this could be a fantastic play. But number 4, Invidian sitting deep back in the spawn, so he's going to get this information that they're pushing through the mid. Utility out, he's going to get tagged up. Rotation coming through. We're going to see a lot of trades start to go down as Journey picks up Weeman. Bomb still needs to go down. It is 15 seconds. They need to get it planted, and now suddenly Hixie's stuck in a 1v3 as he starts to lay bomb down at B.
This is where I would just call for Journey to go check B. Bomb will go down. Surely he won't survive for long. Invidian going to collapse from the back. It's the triangle defense. Try to move through. You will not. Metals shut down. Hixie entirely too weak, though. Not much you can really do. 26 seconds. It was a valiant effort, and the defuse will come in. Rams will pick it up. But for a moment, it looked a little scary as Rams will now go up 3-1 in this S&D. Looking very, very clean. And like you talked about in the pregame, Allie, Rams are very slow. They play defense very passively. They wait for you to move up. Once they find first blood, they don't move. They tend to allow the numbers to come to them, and then they'll play the trades. They do so in that round.
It's definitely a new Rams when it comes to S&D that I feel like I'm seeing, because I talked about earlier how usually in S&D they play incredibly slow to where the clock just kind of runs out a little too much for them allowed to do anything, and then they kind of quicken their space and collapse on everything. But now when they play slow, it's much more calculatory. It's a lot more, playing for picks. It doesn't seem like they're panicking as much as we saw in Season 1. So definitely a new Rams I feel like we're seeing coming into this S&D.
Again, just going to kind of peek through the middle of the map and looking for Denza on the other side. And Denza gives up control. I'm going to rotate back to B. Shots ring out. Metals is tagged. There go the nades. Bids might be able to pick up both. He's able to find both. He does just that. The numbers fall quickly for Rams. It was a decent break, but just not the angle. Not the right peak. And they quickly get shut down. Invidian last alive. Bids should be able to pick up this kill, let alone get the call from Weeman. Everyone collapses, and a great hold and retake from Passion.
Beautiful collapse out of Passion, and again, 3-2. This is much closer as I feel like I expected. We're gonna watch Bids 2-piece once again. Unfortunately, the trade just wasn't there. They weren't ready for him to be sitting in that corner and to jump out. So great play out of them. 3-2. Rams are still up.
Well, it's gonna take plays like that. When Rams do get aggressive, especially on offense, it will take 2 pieces, 3 pieces, quick trades. Hixie at 5-4. Again, your bomb carrier. Looking at Invidian at 1-3. Lucky is 8-3. So limiting the damage that AR can possibly do, but still, Invidian, the statue. He gets shut down immediately by Weeman. What a great challenge. And now the call gets thrown out to B. Let's go. One will stack inside his metals. Bad caught timing. Escapes with his life. Not for long. Nades are out, but the numbers are here. And all you have to do is collapse and plant. They'll do so.
Absolutely flawless play by Passion. They go straight for the B side. They didn't even hesitate. They just pushed up street immediately, got the picks and caught Rams off guard. So now we're tied 3-3. And like I said, I hate B pushes, but that was a beautiful execution. They didn't lollygag in mid. They saw Vidian. Weeman, we're going to watch him get that huge pick, and they just collapsed into the bomb site. They didn't give Rams time to respond, and that's what we saw on the hardpoint. We didn't see Passion giving Rams time to respond. So if Passion keeps running with that type of pace, we might see a little bit more of a takeover coming into the rest of these rounds.
Well, that is one of the better B pushes we've seen, and I know we've only watched 3-4 weeks entirely, but still, at least in the start of the Challenger series, that one probably ranks a little bit higher than most. 4-man split, bottom of your mini map, no one really advancing for Rams. Lucky is the furthest one push up towards that window. And on the other side, Passion again splitting their resources at Metro. You have one near the statue, it's Bids. On the back, it's Wee Man. And no one's gonna drop yet. Couple of nades that connect, so you have the information they might be near bank, but still, the call gets pushed back, and Passion now electing to rotate to A.
I feel like we're watching this slow push coming out of Rams here. They have the information once again. We saw this happen where Metals said, A is completely clear, but what they don't know is all of Passion has completely rotated over to the A site. So depending on timing here, they could get great picks off of Rams trying to take over the site. There goes Metals. Beautiful check out of Hixie. Huge gunfight to win. So now Rams, they have to go to B. They have to lay the bomb down. Yep. Passion, they have to know this, but they're still at A. They haven't rotated yet. The bomb is nowhere to be found. It's going to go down. Passion need to start making this rotation. There's only 15 seconds left on the clock. They have to know.
Passion should have known that once Metals dies, he is the scout. No one else is challenged. He's just there for info. They got to rotate. You're absolutely right. And there goes the call. Now, how do they push? Lucky going to be spread out. Wee Man in the back tagged up. Invidian has to hold Metro. That is essentially his job. He should know where Wee Man is going, and the collapse is coming in onto B, so you just have to find 1 or 2 kills potentially. Diffuse coming in. They're going to stick it. There goes Lucky. He gets shut down. Invidian going to follow up. Bids finds the kill, and out of position is Journey. Nowhere to go. No time to be left had, and Passion pick up their 4th round, and what a great retake and a bit of a sloppy hold. Looking at Rams, they just weren't able to find any kills. Everyone flooded into the site.
I understand what they were going for. As you just saw, they were going for the just let the clock run, slide, and just kill whoever's off of bomb, and then, chalk the round. But, there was the life difference was so different in a 4v3 situation like that. I feel like Rams just needed to stack that point a little more and play a little closer, leave somebody on the inside, just sitting window in a corner somewhere. And because nobody was in it, it just allowed all 4 players of Passion to get in there and just play the trades. So, unfortunate for Rams, they're now down 3-4. We're on board with Wee Man in bus once again. Don't know if he's going to catch Metals. He is going to catch Metals onto straight, so already have that information that he's down, and we're going to now see them try and maybe make a B push here as number 7. That's going to be Hixie with bomb is in the window. We're going to see that full B push going on from street here.
Wee Man has spit such a massive pickup, at least for Denza and Bids. Just that consistent AR that they can rely on to help open up sites. Denza at 4-4. Again, Hixie having a great game running that objective. Now he's going to move in. Bomb will be put down. And he should be getting the call momentarily because, again, Journey has not spotted anything. No nades, no movement, no sound. How do they collapse? You just watch Passion do it. Do you take notes and copy the homework? Nade comes through. Lucky going to push in.
Journey's coming from the back. He's going to get shot in the back, but that's 2 down for Rams because Journey was so far out. And like I said, you need to be stacked on the B point when it's down, and that's what Passion did. And now it's a 3v1. Journey left on his lonesome once again, all the way in the back. And it looks like it's going to go so well. It looks like the collapse. It looks like, Journey going into the back and getting a couple kills and distracting Passion from the point. But the timing just isn't working out for the side of Rams.
And this is all just up to Denza. Again, you're looking at Denza and Bids, who are so good together in S&D. And talk about a map that helps them as well, right? Knowing how to maneuver between the streets and how to get towards A site if we're moving that bomb in that direction. Everything else, though, B is a sub-heaven. And averaging, again, a 1.20. We stress that because it's important. Then you look at their impact, 6-4 and 5-5 together, 11 and 9. It's important to have that sub duo and to have those boys consistently putting down shots. Bids gonna take down Metal's first blood again for Passion. It seems like that's kind of been the meta for the past 3-4 rounds, Ali, as they have continued to find that numbers advantage, and now they can back off the site.
I feel like I'm seeing the little panicking side of Rams that I saw before, where now that they're down and this is kind of match point for Passion, they're being a little rushed. They're being kind of just throwing themselves into situations that they don't want to be in. They're going to funnel right through mid here, which could work out potentially if they get the timing onto A, where Hixie is just kind of sitting by himself. But if Passion decide to rotate at all, they're going to catch these 3 players off their guard, and that's what's going to happen. We're already getting some shots through. Lucky goes down. It's now 2v3. Journey ends up getting a trade onto Wee Man, but now they know where the bomb's trying to go. Invidian might get caught by Bids. There it is. Bids takes down Invidian. and looks like we're going to see the side go on Passion, and there's 20 seconds. Bomb is still not down. Rams, it was looking so good. They just started panicking down near the end.
What a collapse from the back. Like, what more do you really want to say? Bids with the freak in hand, this flex, he is so lethal, especially in S&D. And like on your final kill cam, able to pick up Invidian in a gunfight. I didn't expect him to win, but he does it anyway. It's just ridiculous what this team can do, and they show you why they're so good in S&D, and they show you why they're currently up 2-0 in the series. They steal game one. I say steal, but they were dominant in the entirety. And they go into S&D. They do what they've been doing for years, and they pick up Weeman, who has been such a tremendous addition to this roster, and who was so crucial for a lot of the first bloods in that game too. And now they're up 2-0 in the series against Rams, against the number one team in Europe. This is a very, very good squad, and they look like they've been practicing for months on end, and they've only really had a couple of weeks off. Allie, what are you seeing in that S&D as we look at the replays that stood out to you the most? I mean, for me, it's just the amount of first bloods that Weeman was able to pick up.
No, it's true. The first bloods were crazy, especially Bid's getting that last one in the end. But about Passion, everything changed. The pace changed when it was 3-3. The second Passion tied it up to 3-3, they started running at Rams. They started kind of catching them, doing what they were doing the hard point, and picking them off and catching them off rotation and not allowing them to kind of get their setup. And they just kind of took over the pace of the game, and that's kind of what I expected coming out of Passion and what their win condition kind of was, and that's exactly what they ended up doing, Space.
Well, you look at the start that Lucky had, all 5-0 drops, then he was like 6-1, and then moved up to 8-4. But Invidian couldn't really help as that AR. He was losing every gunfight against his matchup in Weeman. Weeman was 7-3 on a 5 spree. And the fact that Bids was able to utilize that AK-74U, utilize the Krieg, and be such a reliable, consistent flex for this team. Again, it makes Weeman's job easier, and it makes Denz's job easier as the sub, and Bids just fills in the roles appropriately, and that is why having a good flex could be make or break for a lot of teams. You look at Optic, you look at Dashy, what he's able to do as a flex, right? Bids is that character, and when you give him a solid, sturdy AR to work with, he can be absolutely lethal. Let's look at the maps for the rest of this series, and again, we're going back to checkmate for Control, and while, again, I still look at Rams as the better Control team, the momentum is entirely on Passion's side. Allie, are we looking at a 3-0?
I talked about it earlier. I believe Passion will go up 2-0, but I do think they're going to fall in the Control. I'm really looking at Rams and how good they've been in Control and how consistent they've been in it. I am definitely favoring them going into the checkmate Control. But however, going to the rest of the series, I'm still favoring Passion. I believe Passion will take this either 3-1, 3-2. Looking at that hard point, it probably is going to be 3-1 just because of the 250 to 137 stat line. But Passion just looks so good right now. And Rams, they are looking better than I feel like we previously saw them, but it's still just little mistakes. It's just little missed calls. It's really costing them these maps.
I look at what Bids is doing right now. I look at the fact that Weeman just looks so comfortable, and the continuity between games is not one of out of position finding lucky kills. It's one of understanding where to be and getting the right call from the teammate. So the communication is certainly there for Passion. I feel like I have to just disagree with you, Allie, and that brings a little tear to my eye. But Passion, they're going into checkmate Control. Again, looking at just how the hard point went, Weeman and Bids were eating. Weeman has been winning the AR battle against Invidian this entire series. I expect that to continue. And Bids, I just can't say enough about this flex. There was an interesting tweet from Parasite, and we'll talk about kind of his journey as we probably see him later. But there was an interesting tweet from Parasite about, reaffirming the idea that a flex is a sub and an AR, someone who could run both and not just the secondary AR. And I think that, again, that is a concept that a lot of people have forgotten about, that it is about the ability to run a sub and a second AR and be so flexible on the map and fill in those appropriate roles. And I think that having a solid stationary AR in Weeman and allowing Bids to feel like he can roam with whatever gun necessary and whatever situation is necessary, it is bringing a new term to dominant flex in this game. And Bids is just eating. He's eating in this matchup. And we go into checkmate Control in a map in a mode where A is really, really, really difficult, and it has not changed. So while we removed Garrison S&D, which is one of the more difficult S&D types, we sit with Control checkmate. And again, we look at the A site, Alley, and this is going to be a difficult one. You need your ARs to be able to eat back. You need Invidian to step up. I think he's my key going into this. I need Invidian to be able to respond with what Weeman's been able to capitalize with, especially with a map and mode like this.
And I know I'm trying to be devil's advocate going to this control and saying Rams, will probably take it, but I'm not trying to say it's going to be a sweep. Control, especially in this game mode, it's going to be so back and forth. Usually my standpoint is on it. The first team to take an offensive is usually the team to take the control, and I stand by that pretty heavily. And Rams, again, I talk about the defensive. I talk about how they are usually so good at respawn. I'm kind of acting like that hard point didn't happen when I say this, just because of their past their past KDA going across when it comes to their respawns. And I want to have hope. I want to have hopes that we're going to see Lucky continue to go off. I want to see the more hope out of Journey's trying to answering to Hixie and his kind of flanking, getting behind enemy lines. I know what Journey can do, and I've seen Journey do it before. And I feel like going into control, we're going to see the Rams that we expected to see going into this series.
Yeah, and Metals has been, just at least if we want to conjure up stories, Metals has been relatively quieter in this series. We know Lucky and Metals are a duo, and they have been a duo for quite some time. And Rams have been a team that, not only are at the peak of the European competition, not only a team that consistently can win and win out big, but just for their fans' sake, I'm sure they are expecting S tier caliber Call of Duty consistently. But that just shows you the power that Passion have brought. And maybe it's a week one stunner, maybe it's a week one we didn't expect this, and Passion will kind of ride that tumultuous wave of challengers teams. But at this moment, they look like they're the more consistent team. They look like they have been practicing, at least for this matchup, and they look like they're in mid-season form. That's the scary thing. When they come out and they just have the right roster, sometimes it just takes putting the right pieces together. Regardless, Checkmate Control is a fickle map. It is a very, very dangerous map for many, many reasons, but it's quickly becoming a fan favorite. And I'm loving the addition of Weeman to this roster. What more can I say, right? Like, his presence, I feel like, opens up a lot of possibilities and gives people like Denza and Bids room to be creative in S&D, something that Weeman brings to many rosters in his years prior. But for Rams, they're down 2-0, Ali. They have to win this S&D, or this Checkmate Control, excuse me. You go down 3-0, you lose. It's week one. There's plenty of time to bounce back. But for the number one team in Europe, I feel like this would be a little bit more of a significant blow to lose your first match of season 2 in a 3-0 fashion. Just given the fact that you were so successful in season 1, do you think this would be too detrimental for them? Should they drop it? Or do you think it's just early season woes you'll get over in the next coming weeks?
I feel like at this point in the season, it definitely is going to be pretty detrimental to Space, just because we talk about our first season was kind of like, it was a new, it was everybody kind of falling into the place of things, kind of falling into the groove, everybody falling into their teams and realizing what works and what doesn't. And now that we're moving into later on in the new seasons, it's like things should start working out by now. People should start falling into their groove, into their pace. And so because Rams is falling so early after sticking together from season 1, I feel like that's going to hurt them quite a bit because of all these new rosters.
Well, there's only really one way to figure out how this series will go. That means just playing the game. Welcome to esports, baby. Let's get into game 3. It's Checkmate, it's Control. You guys know the deal. We love the mode. You love the combo. Let's get into it. Nvidian needs to have a big game if Rams want to be able to bounce back, at least to bring it to 2-1 in the series count. But for Passion, you're up 2-0 against the Kings of Europe. Can you close out in a 3-0 sweep? And my God, what a way to do it in the first week of season 2 of the Challengers Elite. Let's get into it. Off the start, couple of kills out for Rams. They pick up 2, and they're going to move on to the A site.
Off the start, it looks like we have a little bit of a switch here on the name. Excuse us as we're going into that, but in the hill right now, we are on board with Lucky, as we look like another tick is going to go through. Excuse me, the first tick is going through on the side of A, possibly the second, as a lot is being committed to the B site currently in this mid lane area. Might need to chalk up A. It looks like no reinforcements are coming to stop it. One finally gets taken down. Second tick will not end up going through as Hixie takes down Metals, and already a very fast round of control going on Spade.
And you're always going to see Journey rotating through the plane. It's Weeman on the other side. Great call out from Hixie to shut him down. So about a quarter, 3/4 of a tick onto that second push in A. Metals is going to move through for the decap. Nade comes out. Everyone neutral at this moment. We will continue on. Can't win the gunfight at the top of the plane. And again, A sits about dead. So 29 seconds and counting. The call needs to come through for Rams. How do they push through to the point? At this moment, it continues to get deneutralized. And we only look at one part of progression. So it's an early hold and a good break. Passion holding on. And with 14 seconds, Ali, you got to make a move if you're Rams.
Wee Man 6-1. He has just been pushed up, killing them off the spawn. 7 seconds. Nobody's close enough to get into a point. Maybe a little bit of B commit here. Maybe I'm wrong. Lucky might be able to get in before the 1 second pops. He slides in Nvidia, and it's all up to him to keep that clock from going down. He tried to take this gunfight onto Biz. I hope he would play his life a little bit more. We see 1v1 here. Bids ends up taking him down. Last person alive in Hills. Lucky he's going to get taken down. Number 1 might be able to slide in, but unable to. So now that's first round, I believe, on the side of Passion. I believe our names might be flip-flopped going on here, but Passion already up 1-0 in this control. Like I said, defensive holds, I do feel like it's going to come down to the offense. We're going to watch Wee Man, who's having an absolute round currently. I believe last I checked, he was 8-2.
Again, just the ability to have that consistently good AR in the back. Wee Man continuing to win the gunfight and the matchup against Nvidia, and the ability to clear out the lane, working through outskirts and make the job of the subs easier to push through for the contest. So first round goes for Passion. And again, they're up 2-0 in the series. If you're just joining us, the Kings of Europe and Rams are down, and Passion, a newly formed roster with that duo from Singularity of Bids and Denza. Wee Man has been such a standout, and at this moment, they're looking like they're in a prime position to be able to take this control, and they're already getting the first take on the B.
Big commit going out on the side of Passion to go straight for the B site. As you saw, all 4 players from Rams had gone to A for the defensive, so that's a tick already thrown B. Cleanup is happening in the middle of the plane currently, but Wee Man finally gets taken down. There's still number 8 in your minimap taken down. Metals with a huge 2-piece to stop that progression, but now they need to worry about coming off of spawn. That's number 7, Pixie, wins the gunfight and now gets plane control. They're going to need to take him down as number 6 also wins his gunfight. That's Denza on the side of A, but he doesn't push up for the tick just yet. We're finally going to see him making some progress, but his teammates get taken down, so no cavalry on the side of him, and he might be thinking about pushing up, but Metals shutting it down currently, having a great game. He's only 5-8, but I believe he's gotten all 5 kills in this past 2 minutes.
I'll make that 6. As Metals is starting to heat up, and that is desperately what you need if you are a Rams fan. Again, Lucky and Metals, the duo, the dynamic ones, their subs can absolutely take over any game. But Journey shutting down more. Looking for one in the back. It's Bids who wins the gunfight and easily will do so. Nice own nade, Metals. We didn't see that. 22 seconds and counting. Lucky on a 3 spree. Metals going to work through the back. Still looking for that kill under. He'll pick up Bids. 15 seconds or so, and again, you're kind of looking at progression. You have to start committing resources. It's 20-16 in the life count, but this has been a very weird and slow control. Wee Man gets cut down. Time continues to tick away. With 8 seconds to go, Rams looking to pick up their first round, and no progression has been made at B and none at A. Finally, they'll get on through, and Hixie able to slow the time.
Gonna need to see a full commit out of Passion here instead of doing the split as they usually do. I think we need to see all 4 players just to stack the points to try to get a tick through. 0.1 seconds. It is Denza on his lonesome currently. Oh, I don't know why he decided to slide out and challenge when he knew he was alone. I guess he just chalked it up. But now tied 1-1. Both defensive rounds going great on the side of Rams and Passion. And like I said, I'm looking forward to see who kind of ends up taking that one offensive round off of each other.
I think the most we've seen so far in this game is 1 tick of progression onto A, and that's it. So it's been highly contested on the point for both sites, and both teams on defense doing their jobs appropriately. And Ali, like you said in the pregame, it's going to come down to offense, who can win that first round. It really might be that storyline. At this moment, both teams struggling to complete a full cap. And we have not seen the life count come into effect, and we have not seen a full capture on either A or B. It has come down to the actual game clock, which is interesting to say the least. But let's hop on board with Journey. Same situation, same place he's always been. Hixie in the top of the plane. Journey's going to back off the gunfight, and Bids is working through under the wing.
Looking like we're seeing a bit of an A commit out of Metals here as he and Lucky are kind of close borders, trying to get that first take to go through. And again, Passion not trying to let it happen as they're, again, wiping out on B and then kind of just turning on the side of plane to get them out of A. But 2 ticks might go on the side of A. That's more than we've seen in most of this game so far, but finally get taken down. Tick progression for the 3rd on A is going to get taken right back down. But look on the side of Metals. He is behind enemy lines, and he's just going to sit here and wait for Passion to keep running in front of him. But he gets turned and burned by Hixie. Great kill at him, but they need to slow that progression on the side of A. That's exactly what they're going to do, Space.
Rams are making some solid progress, and Hixie is able to open up the site a little bit. before he gets cut down. So you expect that gunfight to go the way of Passion, but now Weeman on your screen has a big one to win. He'll do so. 2 will drop, and they will neutralize A for the moment. And again, take a look at the clock at the top of the screen. 40 seconds and counting. Will we see another round go by the wayside simply because we ran out of time? Bids on the top of the wing. Your flex has been so good in this series. What can he find? Picks up 1. He'll get traded. Numbers are there for Rams, but Bids wants to shut down Metals. He might be able to do so with the timing. He will. In 22 seconds and counting, Invidian working his way through the bottom. Nixie cuts him down. And all of a sudden, Passion might win this defensive round just off a couple of big kills. But it looks like Rams have moved through, and Journey just needs to play his life. Luckily, his team is there for support.
Definitely an interesting commit to go into plane right there. It was looking scary for Rams for a moment, but they were able to rotate back onto A and get that final pick that they got earlier in the round. So, minute back on the clock. Life count pretty even. Rams are up 2, it seems. Excuse me. Now that's dwindled right back to even. But B has absolutely no progression, and we know how good both of these teams are on defense. So I'm definitely looking at Rams to try and make one good push to get control of this middle point site.
We already captured a point, so we're doing a billion times better than we did in the entirety of this game. That feels good, but now it comes down to, like you said, locking down B. Looking through the bottom of the plane, Denza finds the first kill. Completely too weak. Gonna back on up. Here comes the challenge from Metals. I like the decision. Clear out the plane and give yourself a chance to regain some map pressure. Hixie will not win the gunfight. 11 and 17, not the greatest game, but still finding a way to keep himself involved on the field. 2 more will drop. 12 to 10. And now we sit about a 1 difference as Rams working their way under the wing. Metals gets cut down. Journey finds the kill. 14 seconds and counting. You have to move through if you're Passion. Will they be able to do it? Invidian gonna get in, finding the first bit of time, and slowly working towards that first tick onto B. But he's getting aggressive. He's gonna take down Hixie. Denza on the other side. I like the aggression, but will it pay off? So far it will. Weeman finding 2 kills, and they get that first tick.
1 push out of Passion, that's all they have here, and they have to worry about Metal shooting them in the back. There goes Weeman. Beautiful play out of Rams. I mean, they have just stepped up the aggression, and now 2 takes going on the side of B, but Passion's not trying to let it go down easy. Only 1 player left, so that's going to be Hixie and a 1v4. He's just going to contest, hope for the best. He will get shut down, so first offensive on the side of Rams. Now that is what we were talking about. We needed to see somebody to take kind of that lead going into control, and again, like I said, Rams showing that province that they usually do when it comes to control and how dominant and consistent they are when it comes to this game mode.
And that's just such a big gunfight from Journey. Again, the presence of mind to know where you need to be, what angles to watch, who's going to push when, getting the call out from the rest of his teammates. The numbers are there, and who might be up first as the ARs get cut down in the back. And again, you're looking at a situation where Rams are now up 2-1 in this game. And they have plenty of resources and different ways they can take apart the Passion defense. Now it comes down to how can they hold on. Bids finding first blood. Invidian will drop. And Weeman on your screen looking for Lucky. He'll find the kill.
Quick B progression going here on the side of Passion, and Weeman's just going to try and get behind the enemy lines, which we've seen happen so many times before, but he will get taken down. Rams definitely starting to heat up as they stop that progression, and now Passion has to worry about them pushing up. They have to worry about Metals, who's in their spawn, but they know exactly where he is. He's just waiting for it. He does get taken down, but trades are starting to go onto the side of Rams. Nobody's anywhere close to either point, and number 6 out on your minimap, that's going to be Denza. He's going to try and get plane control here, but he's going to get met by Metals in just a second as that gunfight starts to go down. And Rams looking like a totally different team going into this final control. Reminder, Rams is up 2-1 currently.
Well, Passion has 1 bar full on B, but they are getting spawn trapped at this moment. They cannot move out. Journey, again, finding a kill. He's on a 4 spree, trying to stay alive, working on those streaks. He will get shut down. 23 and 19, though. The damage he is dealing is certainly enough to propel this Ram squad for a win in this game. Invidian not going to find the gunfight. Denza will take him down. Ixie cuts down the second. And now, finally, Passion will move into A. And no one is around, so they might get lucky enough to be able to get at least 1 full bar, maybe 2. But it comes down to whether Invidian wants to push. Invidian is the closest towards this point. How does he elect to play through? Weeman cuts down 1. 1 more will fall under the plane. And it's a very slow defensive rotation. As Passion begin to commit numbers, Denza gets shut down. Gunfight ensues onto A. And Invidian will pick up the kill, and they will stall it out. and it looks like they'll get the decap as well.
Looks like they're going to try and make that commit onto A as he got off of B and tried to help his teammates, but the cavalry just isn't there. Journey takes down 2. And now Rams, looks like there's 13 seconds. Nobody's close enough to get in the hill except for Hicks. He has to get past 2 of the Rams players, and that's just not going to happen. 5 seconds left. Nobody's close enough to the point number 5. He's got to slide in. Wee Man, you got to get in there, but you're unable to win the gunfight. Number 6, you got to get in there. Nobody from the side of Passion was able to get in, so that is Rams taking the control. 3-1 Fashion space.
It was really methodical at the end, but really that was a relatively simple control. I mean, we had 2 rounds that went by where it just came down to the actual game clock, and then you're looking at essentially a couple of key gunfights on defense that keep out Passion from taking that B point. But at this minute, I mean, you know, Rams get the win in game 3. But it just kind of was like, okay, they played great defense and they picked up the kills. I don't know if I would say the momentum is completely back on their side, but a win is a win. A win is a win. That was just a very weird and kind of slow at times control.
And that's something Rams tends to do. They tend to kind of play slower. They tend to kind of, the pace for them is very like go, 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 or like moving like a sloth on the map. There's no good, healthy in between. And sometimes that works out for them. And that happens to work out when it comes to control. Rams, I mean, they played it so slow. And then once they got that offensive, it was like gears were on go. It's like everybody just started playing aggressive. They started pushing out more. We saw Nvidian making challenges that I feel like we never see Nvidian make. And so Rams able to take that control, I feel like it's huge for them, at least morale-wise.
Yeah, and again, you needed to find that first win, and the fact that it comes in a respawn game type, the fact that it comes on a map like Checkmate Control. You called it before the series started, Al. You said, you know, going into game 3, should there be a situation where they're down 2-0, you expect them to take it, and that was off the backs of Lucky. The fact that Metals was starting to contribute in the kill feed, right? He started off at like 6 and 8, but 6 of those kills came through a situation where he was able to break in on offense and continue to take out players in their spawn. Now it seems like Nvidian's starting to step up a little bit. Lucky looks like he's continuing to perform at the same level, but this is a situation where if you're Passion, you needed to close them out in that game 3. Now we look at the maps again for the rest of the series, and we go to Moscow. This could be looking, we could be looking back at this series saying, yeah, if they win that game 3, obviously they win the series, but we go into game 4 on Moscow, and this hardpoint could be completely different than the first hardpoint we saw in Checkmate. It could be Rams finally, you know, putting all of their cylinders on the right lock and just exploding out of the gate. But for Passion, still so much that they can do to win this series, and Raid might be coming up next after Moscow Hardpoint. Allie, you've been pretty on fire with your predictions so far today, so again, I'm going to come to you with the same question. What are we looking at? Are we going to see a 3-1 win, or are Rams going to send this to a game 5? Do you think they did enough in that control, in that checkmate, to bring themselves back in the series?
The win condition for Rams for me is they have to come out hot. They can't come out slow like they usually do and kind of build their way up. They have to come out playing aggressive. And unless I don't see that, I believe Passion's going to take the hard point 100%. The second that Rams comes out slow, Passion, I feel like, is going to punish them for it. The thing about Rams and the control is what they're so good about. It wasn't really about how many kills they caught. It was just about when they got them. When you talked about Metals, how he just started going off, but his KD wasn't even that good. It wasn't even positive. But because of when he got them, that's what kind of gave them that leverage and gave them that leverage in that offensive going over Passion. Sure. And when it comes to Hardpoint, I just feel like Passion they're still on all cylinders. It wasn't that they were looking good. One of them was definitely slacking in the engagement department, but they're up 2-1 currently. I definitely favor them going into this Moscow. And should we get into a raid S&D, I am 100% still on the side of Passion. So I do think that we're going to see Passion take this series.
Yeah, you know, the safety net for them at this point in time is that you have raid S&D for game 5. So worst case scenario, you go to a game 5 and you have arguably one of the best S&D duos in Europe on your team. Not only that, you have Weeman as well. But we look at Moscow, we look at what Weeman can do and how he was able to dominate in the S&D against Nvidian. So again, I still think the matchup favors Weeman, at least in this specific series. And if that means we're going right back to Moscow Hardpoint, if he has a big game and is able to lock down Nvidian and take him off of Metro, take him off of that statue at Main Street and continue to lock him down, that's going to make the job so much easier for Bids and Denza. And Bids being your flex on this map, especially, you know, expect him to run the Krieg when you're looking at, like, you know, P1 through P3, but then he's going to pull out the AK-74U and create havoc. But at this moment, I think that this is entirely still winnable for Passion, but for Rams, you know, I agree with you. coming out hot out of the gate and continuing to show that it was just rust in games 1 and 2. But I believe we're almost ready to get into the hard point. Allie, it's been an interesting series, right? A bit of explosive start from Passion and then a weird up and down control. Now we go to game 4. Now we go to a situation where Rams are on the brink of sending this to a game 5. But for Passion, you can close the series out here and win 3-1. And what a statement it would be for this new roster to take down Rams, the best team in Europe, and to do it day 1, match 1, week 1 of season 2 of the Challengers Elite Series. For just joining us, welcome. And I hope you guys have been enjoying the action. We have as well. It's Rams who are down 2-1, but they're going into the hard point with a fire in their belly. And we'll see if they're able to keep this series up.
Trade's already starting to go out. Journey grabs 3 in the hard point. That's 4 down on the side of Passion right off the bat. I said they needed to start out aggressive, and looks like they heard me, as in now they can kind of force this spawn trap for Passion, and they're gonna have to start working their way out. So fantastic start on the side of Rams. Journey 3-0 already. Time going the side of Rams. Passion looking to break their way through, but unable to do it currently, as even though Weeman gets taken down onto street. Number 7 though, that spawn is right behind them. We're gonna have to see if Rams are gonna make that kind of turnaround. They're gonna get shot in the back out of the hill here.
Well, Vids is trying to hold down spawns, but you have Journey rotating through. Journey knows that one is left alive. If he finds them, they're going to get spawns as well. So not all is lost for Passion, but it might be depending on how this gunfight goes. Journey wins the gunfight, and they get it back, so they should have the close left, and that means they can funnel through the hill. We'll see where they pop. One drops. It's lucky. Journey finding a second. Not waiting to see where that spawn will be. It will be inside the police station. What a play from Journey to rotate early. 6-1, and this hold is looking good for Rams. They have complete control, and they just need to lock down the kills.
As you say that, I mean, the time is still going the side of Passion currently. Even though Rams do have the spawn, Passion is just holding that front line and not letting them to get out of it, which is huge. Number 2, Metals, is finally able to break his way in, but now the spawns have flipped, and we see if Rams are able to answer back with the same type of aggression on the front line, but they are seeming to lag behind just a little bit, as we might see a lead change going on the side of Passion. As soon as I say that, they get wiped out of the hill, but 20 seconds left, and Rams are on the other side of the map. And no one on rotation just yet, going into the next hard point.
And I love they were able to hold down a little bit of time, and then they get the rotation. They're set up first, but Lucky able to find the entry. They find the second. Weeman will not get tagged. Vids picks up the gunfight, and Weeman wins the second. So you clear out numbers for new. One's still here. It's Metals. All 3 dead. That's all blue in the kill feed, and Passion have plenty of time to sit in, and you're looking at a solid 15 to 20 seconds that they can lock down. Now it comes down to the break on the outside. Journey, second sense was there, but he couldn't win the gunfight, and you're still looking at a chunk of time that Passion should be able to lock down, but Lucky is in the back, ready and waiting.
Should be able to look down, but Metals and Journey is just pushing their way through Greenside, and now suddenly what was a fantastic hold for another 20 seconds has just been picked apart from Rams. I mean, Passion had the perfect setup. I mean, this is a money hill on Moscow. You cannot let Rams just push through the back and flip you out that early in this, and Nvidian is just going off. Said they need to be aggressive, and that's exactly what's happening. But 15 seconds left on the hill. A lot of scrap time going on the side of Rams, but honestly, they can do this as they are up 73-40. They don't really need to worry too much about being early on rotation currently. And number 2, Metals, I mean, he's going to make some noise in mid and try to pick Denza off, and we might see a collapse going onto the street here.
Well, Nvidian from 0-4 to 3-4, Metals at 8-5. Everyone getting involved at least in the hill, and now we rotate to P4. Pixie on your screen looking for that cut through bang. No one's going to be challenging, and it's a bit of a split spread from Rams. Not sure how they want to commit numbers to this yet. You're looking for at least 1 kill in the back. It's going to come through Lucky. Spots Weeman. Does Weeman know he's around? Weeman has absolutely no idea. He can be able to pick up the kill. Lucky looking for Denz on the other side, but now you have lockdown back Metro, and numbers are flooding through from the opposite direction. It's a perfectly orchestrated pinch from Rams, and a beautiful retake onto the hill. They're maintaining the lead, but how long will it last? Well, they have 20 seconds to win.
Beautiful play by Lucky to just wait for his teammates. He was waiting for that perfect opportunity to shoot Weeman in the back and to force Passion to turn around. And so now 13 seconds again going to the side of Rams. They're going to break 100 here. That's a 40-point difference. We're seeing Passion. We're seeing them kind of set up early, but the aggression out of Rams is just too much. They're just picking them apart and breaking them so easily.
Well, this has been off the back of Journey. I mean, he opened up the game with a triple kill right right underneath. He always seems to know where players will be, but he gets shot in the back. That's thanks to Wee Man. Early setup is lucky. 10 and 9 in 20 seconds to his aim in the hill. Able to make it 11 and 9 on a 4 spree. Nades fly on in. I don't think there's any trophies, so that utility will take him down if it's lucky enough to strike, but he will not be connected with at this moment. There go the trophies. So he can sit inside and just kind of play his life if he so chooses. Another nade comes through, won't take him down. Finally, the challenge will be there, but he gets about 10 seconds or so, and that buys enough time for the rest of his teammates to push on through. They get the spawns, they get the time, and they are shutting down everyone from Passion. No one's been able to work their way into the hill.
Bid slid in just a second too early for his teammates to help him collapse into that hill, and so he gets taken down. And then Denza tries to slide in and make up for it, but then he has no cavalry as well and gets taken down. And now Meadows is already pushing his way through glass. I mean, they're already fighting for these spawns. Passion just can't seem to get a good foothold into this hard point.
Somehow he knows. On the other side, Metals with a quick peek, finds the shoulder and overextends, and they're gonna again flip spawns and get them locked for P2. We go to our second set of hills and our second rotation, and now it comes down to working through mid-map. Journey on the outside, he'll get cut down. Metals in the top of police station. Surely Invidian will find one. He'll find the second. Can't find the third, but the damage might be done. While all the gunfights ensue on the outside of the hill. It's 170 to 67, by the way. 100-point lead, and Rams continue. And Ali, this is looking kind of scary. They have racked up a ton of time in such a quick essential rotation, and they just look like they aren't stopping anytime soon.
Not to mention Passion finally break through, but it's only for 20 seconds, and Journey was still up, killing them off of spawn. So now Invidian, who's already in the back of New, he's going to catch probably Bids in the back, as near them know they're there. Never mind, he catches Invidian first, but he isn't able to clean him up. So now he has to worry about getting not one, but two players from the side of Rams that are sitting behind him, and he's not even turned for them. So he finally catches one. His cavalry finally there. A little life coming out of Passion, but they don't know that Invidian is still sitting in packed books right now. Bids has yet to take him down, so we're going to see a collapse coming out of Rams here.
No one crossing that positive mark for Passion. It might be Bids on your screen, trying to play his life cautiously, feels a disturbance in the back, and does not know that Invidian is ready all the way behind in the back of library, and Invidian wins the gunfight. So patient that might pay off, and the kills finally are getting juggled. 176 to 117. Here comes the pinch, the collapse, and the kills. Rams get the break, and they get the last 20 or so seconds. If you are Passion, maybe you fight for maybe the last 10, but at this point, you need to rotate, and you need to win that rotation.
What it comes down to, I feel like now at this point, is which team is the better defensive, and I'm on paper, for me at least, it's definitely Rams. And once they're on a roll, it is almost, I feel, impossible to break them because they are constantly in their face. Once they have a hold, you can't get past them. And now that they have a lead, because Invidian played his life and played patiently back in the books, and they had that 30-point lead, he could just sit and wait for his teammates and wait for the perfect opportunity to break in. And I feel like we're going to watch that again. Passion, they just haven't been able to have a good defensive hold on any of these hard points. Braun Street, again, and they're 136 to 197. Bids finally takes down one, but you're watching all the red. They're looking for this collapse. They're looking to slide in. Bids trying to find the second one. They know he's at bust. Passion finally seeing some life out of them, but again, they are down so much. They need another hard point if they want to get back into this game.
Well, it's certainly doable, and Passion have been putting up a hell of a fight in this series, but the question on all of our minds was collectively, how long can you keep this Rams roster subdued? How long can you keep them out of the fray? It looks like they're finally exploding into the series, but Weeman trying to shut down everything. He will pick up one before dropping. And Hixie has a couple of key gunfights he needs to lock down before we go to our third set of rotations. Rams continue to break open the lead, 203 to 159. But you can essentially tie this game up if you are Passion on this hill. You need to have Hixie pop off. He's able to cut down one, and Bids is inside with the Krieg in hand. He's going to set up nice and pretty, looking for Metals at top Eskies. Metals gets the call out. Here comes the pinch. Journey's going to win the gunfight. Never mind, it's Invidian. And they collapse through so perfectly, and Rams can just play contest, contest, contest. And Passion need to find a way to clear out the kills.
Passion needed to play closer onto that hard point. They were way too spread out across the map for knowing that the rest of Rams was all on the old hard point. And they're finally able to break in now for a couple of seconds. If they get this full 20, they are back in the game space, man. That would make it 206 to about 200. So it is very doable for Passion to make a comeback here. They just need to get early on this rotation. Number 5, I'm looking at Wingman, but he gets taken down by Lucky. You need to shut him down, and you need to get that front line hold once again. We saw it in the earlier rotation.
Well, it's a bull push right now for Passion. They're just trying to bully their way through the middle of the map, but they're getting cut down. Metals finds 2 kills. Everyone dropping. Weeman might be the latest victim. There goes the nade. Won't get tagged up. And the early time is there for Rams. 53 seconds to fight over. But are we really fighting over it if no one's going to go in for the contest? One player sitting alive inside. It's Journey. He has a minute 5 in counting. Lucky's just at mid-street, able to cut down Hixie. Numbers drop. Reinforcements quickly get shut down. And Metals, again, has been so electric. Finally, the kills might be there for Passion, but it's basically a 1v4 trying to go for the hit, and this might be a win here for Rams.
Rams can 100% win it on this hard point. What we need to see out of Passion is they need to at least contest it. Not only that, but they need to get early in rotation and set up and be able to hold the entire next hard point. So a lot of work needed to be done on the side of Passion, but it's not impossible as they finally break into this hard point. Only 5 seconds needed on the side of Rams, though, and nobody is close enough. Number 6, it's all the bits. He has to be able to take both of them down. He can't. Nobody is close enough. Rams able to take the hard point. I said they needed to come out aggressive, and I said they needed to start steamrolling, and that is exactly what they ended up doing.
That looks like a miscommunication call from Passion. They get the break, so they have about 12 seconds or so to fight over and at least lock down looking into the rotation. And once that player dies, I think they all kind of rotated and said, we're going to go set up for new and try to win this game. They only needed 5 points for Rams. You only needed 5 more. You have to continue to put numbers on the old hill because that's one of the easiest ways to lose the game. They do so, and Rams take advantage of the miscommunication. They win it, and they win game number 4 hardpoint. Now we move to an S&D, but Ali, that was all Rams through and through, all the way to the bitter end. You said it yourself. Their defense was immaculate, and their ability to get the break and hold the break. How many times did we see them flip spawns consistently and win the rotation fight? Every single hill, it seemed like they were able to do just that.
No, Rams looked fantastic in that hardpoint. They came out hot. Journey, I feel like with that first 3 kills and that first pop of the hill, I mean, that was just what they needed. That was the momentum push of, oh my God, they're all dead. And they just started steamrolling. They just started running through them. And you talk about miscommunication in that last couple of seconds. I definitely kind of agree. There was 2 players from Passion sitting there on that old hill time while the other 2 were trying to rotate. It's kind of what they had to do. They had to kind of leave them and get on that early pop, but they got taken down. Both of them got taken down. There was a 2-piece on the side of Rams, and that's just not what they expected. So it really just came down to trusting your teammates there, and they were unfortunately unable to get those kills and kind of hold those couple of seconds. So very unfortunate for the side of Passion. But again, Rams, they look fantastic in that hard point. That is what we were missing to see in that early rounds of the hard point in our first map of the series.
And maybe hindsight is 2020, and certainly it is, but looking at that final hill, I mean, you could even have a situation where you're arguing that we know what Rams have been doing the entire game from the side of Passion. You know that they have been breaking you consistently and continuing to win the gunfights to clear you out of the hill. So surely maybe we can extend that to the understanding that they should have known Rams were going to break for the last 10 or so seconds. They could win it there. Why would they rotate early and give up that little bit of time when they know they can break you consistently and win that last 5 or so seconds? So sure, it's hindsight, it's 2020, and it's ifs, ands, or buts. But for Passion, a small miscommunication. Instead of saying, let's keep 3 up, send 1 on the rotation, they like to split their numbers. Not a bad call by any stretch, but you look at how Rams were playing in that entire hard point. Certainly, you could have made a different call. Maybe it had a different result. Probably wouldn't have. Rams were just having a field day on that map. But now we look at the S&D and we go to Raid. It's wonderful. I love Raid. I wish I could marry it. I can't. But the important thing to know is that Weeman has been quiet. And by quiet, that means that Nvidian's been winning the gunfights on the other side. And Journey is just eating right now. He is having a tremendous resurgence in this series. Ali, do you see this as a situation where we look at Rams and say they have, because right now I'm looking at the momentum they just gathered in that hard point, and I'm like, okay, this is the Rams we expected. This is the team I know they can be. Do you think they're going to take this game 5? I think that they have more than enough in their tank to be able to steamroll right through Passion.
That does. So it almost feels like I'm being devil's advocate again, because after seeing that hard point out of Rams, you think of it and you're like, oh, Rams are about to go in this S&D and steamroll. They're about to just go off in that momentum, and they're about to be, just crazy. But I want to watch that replay one more time, because just because Rams were able to take that hard point, it wasn't as close as the first hard point in the series, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't a steamroll. We saw the passion coming out of Passion once again. I'm sorry I had to do it. But you saw that kind of resurgence from them near the end as they started to make that little bit of a comeback. after Rams seemingly were steamrolling them in the hard point. We're gonna watch Lucky get a couple shots in the back once again. This is a little bit of a highlight reel for Rams for sure, but I still have faith. I still have faith and passion. I feel like they've kept their composure pretty well, and I feel like it was just a bad map for them.
And even in this hard point, it was back and forth, like you said. I mean, there were moments where Passion were able to tie up the game. There were moments where they clearly brought it back from a 100-point deficit, and we're sitting here thinking, okay, they can do it. But Ali, I think you and I both share the same sentiment when we also say that there was never a moment where it didn't seem like Rams couldn't just take over the game again. They were consistently finding double and triple kills to break kills, to shut down Passion. And when Passion started bringing it back and they utilized their ability to go on those long sprees of 3-4 kills, rally in some good time, and cut down that 100-point lead, it still seemed like Rams were in a position where they could have just ended the game had they chosen to commit numbers to a site. They go into the final hard point and they close it down. Now we look at S&D, where again, that duo of Bids and Denza on Passion should certainly play a benefactor for their success in this raid. But again, it's going to come down to the ARs for me. I need to see women. I need to see NVIDIA and what they're able to do. But Rams look like they have just brushed off the rust. They got back in form. I know it's only week 1, day 1, but they look dangerous right now. But for Passion, I agree with you. They are more than capable of closing this out. Love to know what you guys think. Let us know in the chat. But for us, Ali, I'm going to ask for your prediction. We don't do it often. I'm going to want your prediction, and I want series or map count prediction. I'm taking Rams 6-4. I think they're going to close it out. What are you feeling?
Oh, what a hot take. I mean, okay, I'm still favoring Passion completely. Round count, I feel like it's going to be 6-2. I feel like Passion are just going to surprise us. I know I have some really, really hot takes going into this, but
told me I had a hot take.
The only deciding factor for me, the only hope I have for Rams taking this S&D is that Passion allows that hard point to get to them. That's the only time I feel like I can see Rams kind of taking the S&D off of Passion, is if Passion allows that hard point and that control loss to get to them. We're watching right now, we're on board with Denza, already 3 down for the side of Rams. Passion already looking fantastic in this first round of S&D.
Well, First Bloods, again, still matter. Welcome to 44 Call of Duty, as NVIDIA will pick up the second kill. Denza and Bids last alive, but it was 3 quick kills for Rams, and then it quickly made it a 1v3 after First Blood went Rams' way. NVIDIA's going to rotate through the back of A. Bomb is down in a very, very bad spot outside the garden. And you're looking at Denza and Bids working together. Again, the S&D duo, the prolific S&D duo in Europe. Surely this is a round they will be able to close out. But for NVIDIA, splitting up the numbers and eventually trying to find one at a time might be his ticket to success. But you're running out of time, 30 seconds to go. You got to grab Bomb.
I believe Passion knows Bomb is down as well, as they're both kind of angled for this mid site onto A, just waiting for him to kind of peek his little head out. As looks like Bids will be the first to get that information. Bomb gets picked up, but Bids wasn't looking. The bomb's going to try and go down, but hopefully we're going to see a little turn corner out of Biz the second that pops up. Yep, he gets the angle. He takes down NVIDIA. First round on the side of Passion. Beautiful play. And one consistent thing about Passion is, I believe, I don't know the exact stats, but every time they get First Blood, they end up taking the round most of the time. So Denza again with a huge cheat. We're going to watch that again. And I feel like that's a scary stat line, because the second that you think on the side of Rams, oh God, one of us is down, we're now in a 3v4 situation, and how much Passion happens to capitalize on that.
And yeah, that's where you're going to see kind of the skill disparity for a lot of teams, right? Teams that know how to play through that First Blood and rally that to correctly utilizing the numbers advantage. Yeah, they are going to succeed almost 100% of the time. Great shots from Denza. But on the other side, it's still winnable for either squad. Plenty of time on the clock. Bomb yet to advance. Now it looks like it might be moving to A. NVIDIA and Kitchen might catch one. He might catch Denza, actually. If he plays his life correctly, he's able to get right behind Denza. He could stop the plant and escape. I think he knows they're rotating. And this is a good play from Rams to play slow.
He slips right past and doesn't see any of little heads to shoot out, and that's what NVIDIA was waiting for. Lucky, though, looking to shoot Denza on the leg, but the trade goes on the side of Passion. Beautiful play out of them. I mean, Rams, they went for the right rotation, but they were just down in lives, and unfortunately, NVIDIA wasn't able to get the information he was hoping to get by playing that angle.
And one of the beautiful parts of Raid is when you look at teams that play slowly like Rams and S&D, your slow play through Kitchen can be an easy First Blood for Passion. And once that's the kind of the scenario and the case in point, that is when the map becomes too difficult to overcome. People drop quickly, Passion capitalize on the mistake, Rams again lose that first blood, and Passion are walking their way through these first 2 rounds. It's Bids at 3-0, Hixie 2-1. Weeman still looking for his first kill. Your bomb carrier will be Journey. He's going to rotate to B, so 4 split. Trophies are down. And again, more numbers funneling through for getting so aggressive. They cut down Lucky, and 1 more will drop. Another first blood in a subsequent second, as Passion are wasting no time getting these kills and opening up the round. This is an absolute breakdown from Rams. Journey able to pick up 2 and will get the bomb down.
Journey, unfortunately, is in a 1v2, though, so still some hope. If I wanted anybody on the side of Rams to be stuck in a 1v2, I do believe I would pick Journey, but Bomb will go down, so a favorable situation for him for sure, especially if he gets his timing on to Bids. Bids doesn't see him, so he does get it. Now it's a 1v1, but that does give Weeman the information on where he is and what angle is going to come from. Weeman's hopping the bomb. He's just going for the defuse. Journey, it's not going to check in time. I don't believe he's going for a long flank, and he doesn't expect him to do it, so Ninja Defuse goes down. Fantastic play out of Passion. They are up 3-0 on top of Rams. The second Rams seems like they're getting a step or 2 ahead of them. Passion pulls them right on back.
Journey played the first half of that 1v2 so perfectly, and then just doesn't elect to check bomb. And I understand he's looking for the long cross all the way at the opposite end of the site, and he's looking for numbers to be split up. But even in that situation, once you pick up the kill, you must know they're going to be calling out that you're nowhere near the bomb, and they might hop it. An interesting decision that does not pay out. And for Journey, someone who was on the Atlanta FaZe Academy roster for the majority of the Modern Warfare season, who was so good in S&D at making those quick decisions, a mistake that cost them a round. And now up 3-0, Passion in the driver's seat of taking the series.
All of Rams are in mid, and none of them have the information that Passion has completely overtaken this bomb site. Metals gets first blood, so now it is 3v4. But nobody from Rams is moving. The entire B side is in control of Passion, and Rams haven't moved a muscle. I'm starting to get worried because this is something we have seen happen multiple times before, or Rams just play way too slow and they wait for that clock to go down. They are allowing Passion to set up. They allowed bomb to get planted, and now they have to kind of play for this retake where Passion can just back up and play the angle.
Well, for them, they do have numbers, 4v3. One will collapse in. It's Lucky. He gets cut down, and Lucky goes in for information. You have to at least assume that was the call. Journey takes down 1. 2v3. Bids, 2v2. What a retake, and Bids is lighting everyone up. Metals last alive. 17 seconds to go. 1v1. He catches him. He's going to get to the bomb in time, and a mistake. Bids trying to escape from the back instead of just playing through bedroom. He must have known there was no way for Metals to rotate behind towards parking lot, or at least get down that ramp. And the fact that he jumps out the window again, another mistake, and it's 3v1 now. This has been an interesting 2 rounds back to back.
That was definitely an accidental mistake out of Bids. There's just no way. He knew Metals was there. He was taking that gunfight and goes outside window and doesn't think he's going to get shot in the back. So we're going to hope that was a little hiccup. Now 3-1. Lucky, unfortunately, a little slow on that 1 and 4. And on the side of Passion, though, Weeman's also 1 and 3. But who needs, to get the engagements on the side of Weeman when you have Denza 4 and 3, Hixie 4 and 3, Bids 5 and 2. I mean, they're just playing together so incredibly well. This is the Passion that I was expecting to see. And now Bomb is going to make its way, it looks like, towards B side. The thing about Rams is happened to like to answer to their enemies with the exact same plays that happened the round before. We see Passion go for a B-side push, we then see Rams go for a B-side push, and it doesn't always work out in their favor the way that they're hoping.
Another kill. That's 2 in a row. First blood again goes to Passion. Last round, it was Rams who picked up the first kill, and they were able to awkwardly and successfully rally that to a round win. But Passion have found first blood every single round in this game 5. And that's the reason the squad line looks the way it does. Nvidian sub in hand, uncharacteristic, and bomb goes down. Weeman finds it, and Weeman, I believe, picked up both kills, 3 and 3. 4-1 now for Passion, and first blood has been the name of the game. Passion have won it 5 rounds. Maybe 4 rounds that they have been able to pick up. And my goodness, even when they lose a number, even when they lose one player, Passion look like they're able to win 3 before instantly. But Rams need to just find a way to stop the bleeding. You need to play for first blood, even if it means playing a little bit more aggressive.
Passion and first bloods is like one of the scariest things I think I can put into a sentence, because the second they get first blood, the rest of the team just collapses on you, and it feels like panic mode. It feels like the big red button just got pushed and nobody knows what to do because they are just right up in your face. And we're gonna see another B push out of Passion. Denza looking for that first blood is something he is so noted for doing. A lot of aggression going though, a lot of utility is being wasted out right now, but trophies are down, so nobody really gets picked off.
Don't ever push the big red button. Ixie gonna put the bomb down. Journey again playing in a similar spot. Looking for the cross through Zig. No numbers will be there. Information, at least all you have is that the bomb is down at B. You must know they're near spiral. How do you collapse if you're Rams? It's gonna come down to Invidian. Weeman should just play his life here. Surely numbers are gonna try to push, and Metals might get lucky, but Metals is hesitant. Metals finds first blood. Bids down, Flex down. Now Metals is going to push. I love this play. He gets the kill and trade it out. I'll take it. And Denza last alive in a 1v3. They're going to hop bomb. And what a wonderful retake from Rams. I love the call. Invidian doesn't get too overly aggressive. And Metals picks up first blood, collapses on Weeman. And that is exactly how you take back B-site.
No, that was a great take back by Rams, and hopefully they can take that and start pushing it and taking their pace back in these upcoming rounds, because this whole S&D has just felt like Passion's pace. It just felt like they've been pushing the Rams into a corner. They've constantly played to their pace. They've played to their aggressiveness. I'm not seeing the Rams that we saw in the hard point. I'm not seeing the aggression. I'm not seeing the just push forward and steamroll through. I'm seeing, again, what I feared to see earlier, where they're just kind of pulling back and they're slowing it down and they're hoping for that first pick, and the second that Passion gets the first blood over Rams, again, panic mode. So hopefully some more composure out of them as bomb starts going through mid, and for some reason taking the first couple of gunfights. That is the last thing I think I ever want to see. Lucky though, managing to stay alive.
Yeah, don't forget, new players, you can get shot through that wall. That has been around for almost 10 years. Metals finds first blood. 4v3 again. Lucky bomb carrier. Back of Zig. Weeman and Tiki. Journey escapes. That's the first time we've really seen numbers over to the A-bomb. Collapsed in on. Lucky finds the kill. Everyone dropping for Passion. All of a sudden, Rams have decided they're going to start playing for first bloods, and it's working out. Now can Weeman rotate, or will he get shut down by Journey, who's coming pull steps?
Said we needed a pace change, and that's what it seems Rams is doing. Weeman almost turns and burns on a Journey, but he will shut him down. 3-4, a much more promising rounds going on the side of Rams.
Sometimes all it takes is one round at a time. Even when you're down 4-1, I mean, that is difficult enough, but one round at a time, play S&D correctly. Once you get the first blood, there is no reason to give up that numbers advantage unless you're trading. And everyone's pulled themselves back into a relatively good conversation. You have dead even for Invidian, 3 and 5 for Lucky, but he's been running bomb, so you excuse that stat line. And Journey at 6 and 4, Metals at 6 and 5. Journey and Metals again, so good at the moment. And it looks like Passion will be pulling off the same play again, but look at the collapse from the back. The flank is in, and Metals finds first blood. I love the split decision for Rams.
I feel like I'm watching a whole different team. The aggression to just push straight through mid and not even have a second thought about it out of Metals and Journey. That is a terrifying duo to have behind you. And now Passion's kind of stuck out in the middle of a field right now because they're surrounded by players from Rams, but they were able to take down one, maybe some aggression going on to Journey from Denza. He is now on a 1v3 though. They know where he is. Rams, again, they have just completely flipped the pace onto Passion. This is going to go 4-4 round now. What was all Passion is now coming back to Rams. And we saw this happen earlier, but it was flipped the script a little bit on the S&D. So I wonder if Rams are going to kind of do the same thing that Passion did.
You're up 4-1, and now Invidian, I believe, is 7 and 4. He's having himself a game. You see him here, able to cut down Weeman, his opposite, and collapse in. It's just been so clinical, it seems like, in the past 3-4 rounds. They have brought themselves back, winning 3 straight. And Ali, they look like they're just playing more cohesive, right? Like, they're getting first blood. They're utilizing the trades effectively. They're not peeking awkward angles. They're not throwing unnecessary shoulders. They are just taking care of business, locking down the lanes they're holding. And you look at Invidian, 7 and 5 on a 4 spree. They're going to grab bomb, and the call is go A. I like this decision, but Invidian has a sub in hand, so he doesn't really have the weapon to work with to find that player in the back that is Weeman.
Bomb on its lowest amount on A here. If Denza and Hixie decide to make a wrap onto A and they catch him in that corner, that's going to look a little dangerous for Rams again. First blood has not gone the side of Passion the past 2 rounds. So we're going to see a little bit slower of gameplay here as nobody really wants to give an inch here as they are tied up then going into match point. Still in spawn is going to be Bids and Weeman just kind of waiting for a little bit of information. Invidian has not moved from his corner, just so everybody knows. He has not moved an inch. He's still waiting from that call from his teammates to make a move.
Weeman is out on the island. Again, he's looking for, I believe, the rotation. I don't know if he spotted Invidian or not, but he hasn't moved, so I'm assuming he hasn't spotted him. But look how spread out Rams are. This comes down to Zig at this point. Pixie move through. Invidian picks up the kill. Nades are out. First blood for Rams again. Now what's the call? Do you go to B? You must. Metals has to win the gunfight. Vids is so weak, and he picks up the kill somehow. Passion evening it out at 2 apiece. Lucky takes down Wee Man. Lucky going for the challenge. Bids is locked down in kitchen. Bomb is down. You know where Bids is. There's no reason to lose this round. Lucky barely escapes.
Bids in a 1v2, it's doable, but he only has 30 seconds to do it, and both of the Rams have the information on where he is. Did they think he rotated out, though? He might catch Invidian if he pops his head up one more time, but he shoots a little too early, and now they have that information for that double chow. He gets lucky, though. He might be able to get Invidian. He needs to get one more burst, and he ends up beating him. He has 14 seconds. He's going to defuse the bomb. Fantastic 1v2 out of Bids. Great play. Lucky and Invidian, unfortunately, just didn't pop up at the same time, and the trade wasn't there. Passion in very sly way able to go up now on to match point.
That just cannot happen. You know where he's at. He's in kitchen, so the only way he rotates is through the back. He goes to laundry or he goes poolside. They should have been able to lock this down, but what a play from Bids, winning the first gunfight. As soon as the shots come out preemptively, I'm thinking, okay, he's going to get called out. They're just going to collapse. It's a 1v1. He challenges, he wins, and then he wins the second gunfight. That is the situation where as soon as one player challenges towards the pillars, you need the other to pop up and challenge as well. You should have gotten that synchronous call to come out together. Instead, he picks up each gunfight one at a time and Bids with just a tremendous 1v2, 5-4, and potentially saving the series for Passion.
And the thing about that is, I don't even think Lucky called out one shot because Invidian still took another millisecond to hop up and challenge that gunfight. Yep. So it gave Bids that hot second to kind of regain health, switch guns, and get those bursts onto him. And now B-side is in complete control of Passion. I'm seeing what we usually saw out of Rams is they're playing slow because they're scared. They're scared to give up this point, but they have to play aggressive here. Aggression is the only thing that has been going into Passion and shutting them down. First blood finally through, but the trade goes for on the grenade with Hixie. And bomb is down. Number 2, Journey. He has to find a pick here. He's going for a long flank, but nobody from Passion is over there. So it's now a 3v2 going against Metals and Lucky. Shots going through, but I mean, no inches going anywhere. Journey guy finally gets a kill from the back. He tags up Bids. This could be a great collapse for Rams. They need to get these kills for only 18 seconds. They need to defuse the bomb. That's all of Passion down. The bomb will get defused. Space. We are going to a round 11 game 5.
That was such an interesting call. They plant the bomb on the defensive side, so you're basically forcing the gunfights on the opposite side of the bomb instead of being able to back up and play with the bomb in your line of sight. I like the confidence, but it doesn't really work out, and now you're looking at a round 11. So a situation where maybe you plant towards the pillar, you can try to work through that P4, but okay, we go to around 11, and now I guess it comes down to who gets first blood, because that's kind of been the story of this game 5. And looking across the board, 8 kills for Bids. We met at 6 and 8. Invidian at 8 and 7, 8 and 7 for Metals. I mean, you talk about dead even in a toss-up. I really don't know who's going to be able to take it, but Bomb looks like it'll be moving to B. Your carrier will be Hixie. And mid-map control for the moment for Rams. First blood for anyone will be crucial.
It's going to be first blood 100%. Demon gets tagged up by Metals, but now they have the information that Rams is in mid. We're going to watch this go down one more time. We saw this happen last round. Passion need to get that first blood. The second that goes down, it's all going to go their way. Rams need to make a good collapse here, and they need to make it timely. Trophy's out.
Again, they play on the defensive side. So it looks like they're trying to isolate the 2 members in the back, and they back up. But you have to win the kills in the back. Metals completely tagged up. Hixie going to go in for the challenge. Able to find 1, 2 more drop. Passion, Journey, and Lucky will be shut down. That's 3. 1v4, never mind. Passion, congratulations on your first win in the second season of the Challengers Elite Series. You take down the #1 team in Europe, and an interesting S&D that all pays out in the end thanks to the First Bloods. That's been the story of this game, and they close it out 6-5 in the round 11.
Definitely saw a better S&D out of Rams than I thought I would going into this game 5, but what a round 11. I mean, Passion, none of them went down. I mean, they played together, they kept their composure, and they did what they know to do best, and they took that pace back. I mean, what a fantastic series for number one. Fox, I know you watched from the side. I mean, do you have anything that you noticed out of the series that just really stood out to you?
I mean, from the jump, we heard Space say that he could see it going the distance, and I wanted to know what he knew that I did not, because I certainly expected to see Rams take it. I mean, we've seen how dominant this Spanish roster has been, but the duo from Singularity, Bids and Denza, I mean, we saw them come through, especially in that search and destroy right there, that absolutely nasty 1v2, where he just barreled through them, middle map for the double kill and the bomb defuse. I mean, huge momentum shift, and we're seeing Passion get their first win in the Challenger Series.
Dude, it was a sight to behold, right? When your Flex is having the time of his life and able to win gunfights like that should just not exist. You shouldn't be in that situation. But regardless, I think another situation where having a solid roster change and bringing 4 players together sometimes just works. It's like Tetris. The jigsaw just works together. Weeman looks like he's in a comfortable position with this team, and all around just very, very impressive, even with some sloppy mistakes in the S&D and some sloppy mistakes in the control. They took map 1 hardpoint, which was a surprise. They take the S&D, and I think that's the crux of this team. They are very, very good at S&D. We all expected that. But if they can steal game types, if they can steal hardpoints or controls, as we take a look at the maps of this series, if they can steal those hardpoints or those controls, they can take that extra respawn. There's no reason this Passion squad couldn't be one of the best in Europe. Their S&D looks so clinical at times. Yes, there's still things they need to work on, but Fox, I mean, we talked about this kind of playstyle for a lot of teams in the history of Call of Duty, but it's always been, oh, if they steal an S&D, they'll be able to win this series. I don't think we've ever had a situation where it's been, if they steal a respawn, they'll win this series. This might be one of the first.
I think it's also just the really early stages of this team, right? We kind of saw it's a grab bag of players, 2 players from Singularity, 1 from House Tarth, another from Attained Esports. They're coming together, still finding their footing, and they look pretty comfortable here, closing it out in Game 5 against the Rams. Awesome competition so far.
And Ali, that game 1 hardpoint that Passion essentially ran through, like 100-point lead, didn't relinquish it. They win the S&D in game 2. But looking at the following 2 games, and again, they eventually go down by 100 points in the hardpoint. There seem to be big momentum swings. Rams were able to bring it back, but what were you noticing from the side of Passion that kept them involved in this series and then allowed them to go up 4-1 in the S&D, which they would eventually close out?
The thing that's interesting to me, especially when it comes to hardpoint on the side of Passion, is they're a team that once they start like just going off, they just keep going. Like I don't ever think I saw them slow down, and I feel like that's almost why they kind of fell in the control, because control, again, it's like Respawn and S&D had a baby. I mean, you have that pauses, you have that life count, you have kind of that in between where you kind of have to stop your momentum, wait for the round to go into the next, and then kind of reset all over again. I mean, you reset like 3 times in control, and Passion is just one of those teams that once they're on a roll, they just keep rolling with and they just keep going. And I look on the side of Rams, one thing about them that I wanted to touch on is they are the type of team, I feel like, in a series, they'll always go the distance, especially if they are down against the other team, is they will always go the distance because they are a team that adapts to who they're playing. And I feel like if they kind of solidify that a little bit more, they'll be a lot more dangerous because, again, we go into that hard point, they're able to take it back much closer. We go into the S&D 6-5, nothing like the first S&D we saw. So Rams, I feel like, was just starting to get used to Passion. They're starting to kind of get into that groove, and I'm wondering if that's something they can kind of capitalize on going into the rest of our season this year.
And to kind of branch off that, Fox, just again, kind of a recap of the series. You look at Rams, who are arguably, and going into this, the #1 team in Europe, and there were flashes of that in this series, right? You're looking at the game 4 hardpoint, you're looking at moments in the S&D, and even on the control, flashes of the #1 team, flashes of that consistency in this roster. So when they're playing on their off days and they're able to send it to a game 5 and keep the series to around 11, surely that means that this loss is just one small speed bump in the excellence that is this roster.
Oh yeah, I fully expect Rams to shake it off, move on, and continue to be the dominant team that they've been so far all of 2021. These guys got more money to make.
They got a lot more to make, and more importantly, let's look at the schedule because we got more matches to cover, and that was only the first one of Europe. We go essentially 2 per region, but next upcoming, it will be, of course, 2 interesting teams that I have been looking forward to specifically, Elite 2 versus Team Moon. Talk about the roster changes in Europe that have happened that, you know, there wasn't a whole lot compared to North America because North America just loves being chaotic, but I mean, we look at a team like Elite 2 where you have Grad, Hockey, Rafi, and Wardy, where, you know, some storylines there, but it's a fairly young new roster. And for Team Moon, Genesis, PD, Breezy, and Aroma, half of Team 3G and Genesis and Aroma. So 3G, who had an abysmal start to the season in season 1, and then they make a roster change. And I was impressed with Genesis's play on the field, but I felt like that team just needed more. Now you bring in PD and Breezy, and again, there is a lot to be desired with this roster, but specifically those kinds of storylines get into. But guys, you know, kind of closing out this segment, right? Like, you look at the roster changes that have happened so far. I think so far the most successful, just recency, has been Passion. They bring in Weeman, they bring in the duo, and from Singularity, it seems like the rosters in Europe have so far been paying off. Do you expect that to continue for the rest of the teams we're going to watch today?
I think that so far we've seen some wise decisions in terms of roster changes. I think that
Sure.
two of the stronger players from Singularity sticking together was excellent, and we're seeing it unfold here in real time against Rams. We have an exciting competition coming up in the European region.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to how all the action will play out. But at this moment, we're going to throw it to a commercial break. And when we come back, it's our second series of the day for Europe. And this is the Call of Duty Challengers Elite Series for the 2021 season and week 1 of season 2. We will see you guys after the break. everybody, welcome back from the break. I'm Spaceman, that is Fox and Alley, and this is again the Challengers Elite Series Season 2, and it's been an interesting one. It's been a very exciting one to start off this first day of the first week of the second season. There's a lot of math in there or whatever. Passion and Rams went head-to-head, and Passion won in round 11 of Game 5, and a new roster that looks very, very promising, but now we sit with two teams that weren't here in Season 1, and they haven't really been around, but interesting names nonetheless. Fox, how you doing, brother? First of all, I just want to get kind of your perspective, right? I mean, you look at Team Moon, someone like PD, who finds himself on this roster. PD, who was formerly Team War, tremendous success with that roster, but he puts himself around players like Genesis and Aroma, who used to be on 3G. They don't do that well, and, you know, Genesis had a bit of a fluctuating KD, both in the hardpoints and the S&Ds, averaging around a 66 or 0.85 in the S&Ds, but at this moment, I think there's a lot that we need to look at for Team Moon, and there's a lot I'm keeping my eye on with them because I don't know if they're going to be able to consistently stay in the middle of the pack. But what are you seeing from these rosters and kind of the notes you've been taking?
So looking at Team Moon, and actually both teams really, right? Both teams in this matchup, we're seeing a few pretty storied players in the European region. I mean, taking a look at PD, we've seen his experience really running things in the Challenger Series for Team War back in Modern Warfare. And we're seeing both of these teams with storied players such as Hawkeye, who saw time on Epsilon and Splice, but they're kind of surrounded by players that have been around the amateur scene, right? They haven't really broken into that upper echelon of competition. And so, you know, it's going to be a really tough call as to how things unfold here, but we do have some pretty experienced players in the lobby.
You know, one of the interesting things, Ali, about this new season, and this is just by nature of the format itself, is that sometimes players who get relegated out, or, you know, known personalities that do not do well in the first season, they try to battle back in the relegation tournaments. They try to battle back through the Open Cups. They don't get back in. We saw a ton of that with North America. But as we get into the series, because the players are just ready, I'm excited to go. Ali, we will bid you adieu, and Fox and I will bring you into the action. Fox, kind of extending on that point, there's a couple of just notable names that didn't make their way back into Season 2 of the Challenger Series. So, you know, they're on Twitter saying, hey, I'm a free agent. Hey, pick me up. So we might be seeing roster changes down the line, but these are new names. These are new faces. These two teams, this is their first time in the Challengers Elite Series. What do you think it means for these players to be able to play at this caliber and a chance to win some big money?
Oh man, we got thousands of dollars up for grabs. You know they want their cut, and they're starting off hot. Team Moon takes the initial time in the hard point, but not before being met by 3 different red players hopping in. That's going to be Elite 2. Rappy joining the aggression with 3 straight kills from the AR. That's what you want to see out of your Krieg player.
You know, one of the beauties of having a format like this and having a new season, as Rafi is looking for his 5th kill, pistol in hand, is the fact that we can wipe the slate clean, Fox. We can take a look at new rosters, new formations, and new organizations as they move into the Challenger Series, and we can form our own opinions from day one. This is day one for a lot of these players and rosters, and it's up to them to create their own storyline. And so far, Team Moon off to a very, very hot start. 18-14, time continues to dwindle away, and we will move to P2 into Kitchen on our first set of hills. Let's get into Raid Hardpoint. It's a wonderful map to be on and a wonderful combo to play, but 0-4 is Grad not having the greatest start.
Turning the page in chapter 1 of this story, we see Team Moon up by about 20 seconds. Also set up, they did relinquish control of Laundry. As the opponents push through, we're still seeing kills go in favor of Team Moon, the guys in blue. 4 straight into the hands of Genesis, who sat pretty with the Krieg. Looking for any sort of competition coming from middle map. We might see 2 different players, Rafi and Wardy, pushing through. One gets cut short. PD finds a second as well. Huge double kill, because now they know that the rest of the pressure will be coming from behind. Huge double kill from Grad, though, trying to even things up as his team still spawning out on the opposite end towards Garage. We have to wonder, as we're coming towards the end of this hard point, how it's going to impact the rotation. It's a 50-second lead at this point from Team Moon, and it looks like they could get this scrap time, but there's still a little bit of trouble on the opposite side. Player number 8, Wardy, is looking to play spoiler.
And the slow rotation comes through from Moon, so they should be set up first. And now, again, you can continue to stack up some time. You might be looking at a 100-point lead at this rate. And that's just come off the backs of how PD's been able to break through the kill feed with consistent 2-3 pieces. And at this moment, Genesis having a phenomenal start to Game 1. Currently sitting inside the hill is Brez. He's going to, no, never mind. Grab slides in and picks up the kill. Trades are there. Terrence will cut down 1. And looking for the second gunfight, PD will be in the back line with that Krieg and will shut him down. 94-17. Grad for the contest. Grad can't find the kill. PD with the shutdown. PD, the Krieg in hand, 11-6. He's been so good. That's 4 dead in the kill feed, and that is 100 points and counting.
PD playing no games. Besides Call of Duty, of course. 11 kills to his name, almost a full minute of hill time, and we've seen him be crucial to the first 3 hills of this map so far. With just 10 seconds remaining, scrap time will go to his team. The remainder of his roster already rotating up through Laundry. We'll see how they deal with Raffi in this power position. Looks like they're choosing to just ignore him and go around because that rock position is so tough to fight. He's not in the action just yet, as most of the pressure moves towards middle map and poolside. We'll have to see how it unfolds. This battle on money is going to be crucial.
They bought enough time to get the spawns toward pool steps, and now the flood's through. The numbers are there. Moon can move on in. Terrence gets shut down, and Wardy doing a great job of rotating through the kitchen, able to pick up kills left and right. Brizzy will shut him down. And you're looking at Raffi on your screen at 9-7. They get 10-7, sitting inside the hill. They're bringing themselves back in this game, and what a way to do it on a money hill like basketball court, where you can get so much time as you're set up watching the steps. Raffi, 2 more in a row. Can he find Petey, who's going to collapse in? And the nade is there. Everyone drops, and they're doing such a great job of holding this time. And while the break is still coming through, Hockey at 6-11 has been able to bring himself back in this game, was at 1-8, and he's getting himself involved in the kill feed. But 119-67, this game is far from over.
50-second lead, dwindling as we speak, as Elite is able to grab much of the hill time from basketball court, and we're rotating back towards middle map. 1 player on pool. We met with the player coming from the previous hardpoint. That's Hockey facing off against Genesis. Gunfight has yet to go down just yet, but that's going to be huge for who can pinch onto the hardpoint. And as we see the players in red, Elite 2 are able to maintain control of it and get set up on middle map. It's going to be up to Team Moon how they want to play this out. They're spread out all across the map. This could be dangerous if they're able to catch someone off guard. Genesis right there pulling the head off of the hill player, but he's going to need some follow-up if he wants to get some objective time from it. You see Grad is still able to sit pretty in it. Genesis isn't quite able to get into the hill just yet.
You'll often see an AR sit towards Spiral and try to cut down players as they push through. And for this moment, no one's going to contest at pillars. Grad, again, will just sit uncontested in the hill. Not a lot of pressure being applied by Team Moon. What was at one moment closing in on a 100-point lead for Moon is quickly shot back to reality, where they're only up by 5 now, which is just a tremendous comeback, as Elite 2 now have a chance on the second set of hills in our second rotation. They have a chance to bring this game back and potentially take the lead, but they have to shut down Petey, who has slowed down quite a bit. 14-12, Grad on your screen. Sub in hand. Will he be able to pick up Terrence? No. Petey will shut him down. Genesis in there for Hockey's trade. And everyone getting cut down as quickly as they look at the hill.
So, quickly referencing back to our previous rotation of hills, PD was at 11 kills in our last Garage Hardpoint. He's just gotten 3 in a row. So we see, like as you mentioned, he's quieted down quite a bit, especially around that basketball court hardpoint. It's mostly been Genesis racking up the kills, but they haven't been exactly what Team Moon has needed until now. However, with 4 Elite 2 players in the hardpoint, we're going to have to see a strong push coming from Laundry. However, they lose those engagements. They spawn way out towards Garage, split up towards the pool as well. It's going to be up to these last 2 players to fend off at least 3 different Elite 2 players, and it's already crumbling.
The subs are starting to get themselves involved, and for Elite, you have the positioning to be able to collapse in for the pinch. Here comes the break. 1 kill goes the way of Team Moon, so they hold numbers inside kitchen, but it all collapses, and what great timing from Raffi. He's able to move through, pick up a kill on the outskirts at pool. 2 will drop, and now you're looking at the crunch from Team Moon. They continue to funnel. Terrence cuts down Grad inside money room, and at this moment, the lead will go back in favor of Elite 2, and they grab their first lead of this game.
Okay, so that's a big kill around Tree and Money Room. We're going to see Team Moon start to fan out and pinch onto this hill, all collapsing onto it at once, flipping it just like that, and we're seeing another lead change. The control that they have on this hard point seems pretty firm, but we do have Raffi just behind them diving in to contest. Genesis needs to win this gunfight, but he's tagged up, bloodied already. He's able to turn and destroy him right there to get the scrap time. But take a look at the rotation. Elite 2, they already got 2 players set up for it on Garage. How will Team Moon respond?
I think that's Hockey out. in the mansion. If he's able to pick up one, it should be breezy. He will do so. Again, he helps to lock down spawns in the back and just keep pressure off the subs, but PD is ready. He gets the call out and keep thinking about that push. Never mind. Terrence coming in from Zig gets shut down. Wardy will drop and the numbers collapse. But presence is still here. 3 in the hill, Team Moon, all the numbers in the world to work with. And now you're looking at Elite 2. How do they elect to push? How do they elect to break? What's the call? You need at least an entry kill. They're not able to find anything. Very slow to this break. And looks like they're just going to push their way to the front. Unfortunately, they're going to get shut down from Lambo. Raffi in the back. And Breezy works his way inside. Entirely too weak, but still challenging. Surely he's going to get traded out. He will. And the numbers go back for Elite 2, and they may be able to bring back this game into a sizable difference.
Yeah, what we saw right there was just efficient trades from Elite 2, right? They dove 2 straight in through the middle. 1 went around through vents for the third entry player, but they didn't even need him. They were able to kill the player off Lambo, take that scrap time. We're rotating back over to basketball court where we saw Elite 2 have a massive amount of success in the previous rotation. Now, it's in their hands, another lead change. Team Moon aggression just around the corner. First kill goes in their favor. Genesis opened things up with a double kill. Hawkey looking to respond with the AK-74U. Not enough, says PD as he comes through, popping a trophy system. Now he's set up and ready for his team to position themselves around this hard point. But the tacticals and lethals do not stop. There's not enough trophy system support. PD hopefully doesn't need it, but he's able to find 2 kills. It's still going to be up to Terrence to ward off the remaining Elite 2 players.
PD had a trophy, but elected not to throw it down. Never mind, Terrence will do so. He's going to sit inside the point. And now you're looking at the rotation because Team Moon are only around 30-ish seconds away, give or take a couple, before winning this game. And now it comes down. Let's go all the way towards the courtyard. Who's going to be there first? It will be, I believe, PD, who has to cut down a couple. Wardy on the outside to pull steps. The collapse is there. Elite take the gunfights. They're winning every subsequent fight they can find before finally a flurry of kills goes back for Team Moon, and they get themselves in the point. 9 seconds to go. Where's the contest going to be? Rafi cut down at pull steps. There are the spawns, a little bit far out, and you know where they're coming from. No one's going to contest from Zig, and that will be game 1. Team Moon taking it 250 to 209.
Yeah, Team Moon right there, just reading it like a book. You saw those last 2 players coming from pool. As soon as you're able to take them out, you know the last 2 are coming in from art side, and you just got to take this position with the submachine gun right here and sit pretty. I mean, that hard point, I think a lot of what we saw were the ARs shutting it down. We saw a lot of contribution from PD. We saw Genesis picking it up when PD wasn't there. And, you know, when you can't get past that Krieg player, you're not setting foot in the hard point for as long as you need to. And they're able to just barely edge out Elite 2 in that match.
Yeah, again, it was down to the wire. A couple of lead changes in the latter part of that hard point. You're looking near the end game where there were moments when Elite 2 were able to bring the lead back into a favorable position. But when it came down to PD just finding 2-3 pieces left and right, a similar vibe he had at the start of the game. And it seemed like, and let's look at the replays, it seemed like he was able to consistently find 2-3 kills in a row. Rafi had a great start for like 4-5-0, something like that. But off of that, they just weren't able to really rally that momentum into a big start to the game. It was Team Moon who were up by like 100, and then they finished off the game with a nice hold, and thanks to PD and Genesis kind of working together as the ARs.
Yeah, and you kind of see it here. This is actually where we started to see PD slow down. It was around 11 and 12 kills. For the next 3 hills, he doesn't really get much put into this game until we move over to Circle Hardpoint. That's when they start roaring back, right? That's when we start to see this dogfight continue as Genesis and PD start contributing simultaneously, and you know, in the end, it ended up being enough, and they were able to close it out.
Well, it seemed like for a couple of moments we were going to be looking at a very, very close, maybe 250, 245 game, but PD, again, has so much history and the confidence in the winning stature that he had on Team War, that roster that was able to run through many teams in Europe for a while, for almost an entire season. So he brings that level of veteran leadership and that level of IGL to this roster, and a duo like Genesis and Aroma, who I think desperately needed that. Not that 3G might have not had it, because Niall has been around for a while, but I feel like PD is just a different level, right? Like, Niall's found his own roster, but PD coming in with Genesis, who struggled last season tremendously, sticking together, having the confidence in Aroma as a duo. Now you bring in PD as an AR, who again can help like direct traffic on the map. it seemed like Genesis was much more comfortable, especially when he's pulling out the sub and able to get in the hill and get involved when the kill feeds. So I'm looking at Genesis now, and I'm looking at this Team Moon roster, and I'm saying, okay, like I like the improvements I've seen at least over a season's time. Yes, they made a roster change, but a lot to be thankful for. And Terrence, as I believe we actually have the maps all ready to look at, Terrence has also stepped up tremendously during that first hard point, getting himself involved in the kill feed as well. And now we look at the layout. Miami S&D coming up next, followed by a checkmate control, and then Garrison Hardpoint if necessary, and then Raid. You guys know the deal. But like we've said a couple of times, Garrison S&D has been taken out. We've moved in Express, but nothing to that caliber has been picked yet. We go back to Miami.
Miami Search and Destroy. Seen a couple of changes on this map previously, and there's not a whole lot for us to predict in terms of strategy here between Elite 2 and Team Moon because of how new these guys are, not just to Challenger Series, but together as a collective, right? I mean, we're seeing, you mentioned PD's leadership could potentially, or at least his veteran status could potentially play into his role for his roster. But I think something that's important to point out as well is that when he was on Team War and winning tens of thousands of dollars in Europe with that roster, they did have a coach, right? They had that coach alongside the team. We see someone like Genesis, who's competed in Germany. I think we saw him win a couple national tournaments over there. We saw him come in first place in a German qualifier at some point. So there is experience on that roster. We'll just have to see really exactly how it unfolds here in 2021 on Black Ops.
Sometimes, Fox, to agree with you there, like sometimes it just takes the right combination, right? Like we've seen Genesis make ripples in the Challengers pool for a while. We know not only what he can do when it comes to both Respawn and S&D, but we have seen his name pop up a couple of times in years past. It just came down to, getting the right team around him to be in this position and in this type of league. And having PD on that roster is just such a big factor for them. The consistency that he brings, and even in the offseason where roster changes were being made in Europe and people were asking, where's PD going to go? Why hasn't PD been picked up? I know a lot of people were expecting PD to be put in over Nvidian. And the fact that didn't happen, a lot of people were wondering, well, does this mean that P's going to have a coaching role? Does this mean he's going to have a better roster coming up? I think maybe giving him the ranks to his own squad and the ability to kind of construct the roster he wants might be the best case scenario. So now we go to a Miami S&D and a game 2 where, again, the kind of the pleasant surprise for a lot of these teams, or a couple of these teams in both regions, is that we haven't seen much of them play outside of Challengers Cups or outside of the Opens. But now we get to see them on essentially the biggest stage they're going to play out in the Challengers Elite Series, and we get to see how they adapt to competition and adversity between games. We go to Miami S&D, and we go to a map that is very, very open, and a lot of nooks and crannies you can get shot from, so looking for the ARs to have a big game here, and more importantly, I'm looking at PD to kind of set the tone.
Yeah, when you got PD looking over your shoulder with an AR, I mean, how much damage can you really do on Miami Search and Destroy? It's a whole lot, right. I'm sure. We saw it unfold in that raid hardpoint, especially across that mid lane line of sight. I think that's where we'll see PD contribute quite a lot. Of course, this map, a lot of it comes down to piano control. Piano control. If you got PD out in the alleyway near the parking garage, he could be great support there. But you also have to remember that submachine gun players really tell the story when it comes to indoors and when it comes to making it down from that great tall balcony onto the bomb site.
Yeah, and at the start of the game, like Grad was kicking off, and I think he had like 4 and 2, 5 and 2 in the hardpoint, and then he really slowed down. So kind of reiterating that sentiment of piano control and having your subs be comfortable there, at least enough to throw out a bait and possibly get that trade. I am looking forward to the sub battles we will see near piano, but everything else you're looking at least towards beachside and towards visitor. That is where your ARs are going to thrive. That is where I'm looking at PD to have a big game. But this is an interesting series, man. The first hard point was pretty back and forth near the end, and now we go into game 2. It's still anyone's game, but I look at Team Moon and I say, hey, very, very impressed with what PD and Genesis were able to do. Can they rally that into a 2-0 lead, potentially taking this S&D?
Oh, yeah. 2 very hot players coming into this Search and Destroy. We'll have to see if they can continue that momentum into a much slower game mode, especially a much slower Search and Destroy map that is Miami. Like you mentioned, if they play over towards that beach side, you're going to be looking for those picks. But as we're already getting right into it, PD's actually last alive in a 1v3, and Elite 2 are able to close it out and find their first round win in Search and Destroy here.
That's a good way to respond, isn't it? Just come out quickly, get a round win, bomb down. Maybe that's all it really takes. Yeah.
All right, so our opening moment here. If you're just tuning in, we did see Team Moon go up 1-0 in this series, a very close hard point. Lots of back and forth, many lead changes, led by a stellar performance from the combined efforts of PD and Genesis. But coming into the search and destroy, one map on the board, we see Grad off 2-0 and a bomb plant for the start. 4 players from the side of Team Moon all opt to go towards the B site, leaving one lone player all the way over on the A site on Elite 2. So they have the man advantage here on B site. Let's see what they do with it.
Super aggressive from Grad. He will get the kill, and the trades are there. PD sub in hand. 3v3. Bomb thinking twice about rotating, and it is PD. Maybe he's going to cross to A, but surely he will get spotted.
Hockey's still home. But you got PD, who's coming to bang on the door. The interaction should be coming here soon. This is also the bomb carrier, the last player you want to see fall on their lonesome. Might take a dip in the ocean here shortly, as he's just waiting for his team's support to mount up towards the A side of the map. Hockey knows his job, and that's just to sit here and wait. He might have heard something. He clearly has some sort of a clue from his team that the best option is for him to stay on A site for information. But take a look at what's unfolding on the mini-map. Team Moon has opted to go back towards B site. It was too fishy, and now the plays are unfolding. Terrence has spotted someone as he finds his first kill. The answer back swift from Elite 2 as Wardy's able to find a kill. Now we'll have to see, as Hockey has come back over from the A site, what this means for his support with Wardy on the B site.
Terrence has been here for what seems like a minute. He has not moved, and he finds the kill. Genesis, great teamwork there to get the call, bait and switch. Tying it up at one apiece. I don't know what that body just did, but tying it up at one apiece. But Terrence had basically been here the entire round. And sometimes just having that player on an island who just helps get small tidbits of information, doesn't have to do much, doesn't have to go for an awkward gunfight, just feed info to the rest of your team, and you can collapse together.
Right, and in a way, both teams had that, right? Hockey, for the side of Elite 2, sat pretty on the A side of the map. And really, it was just tactical search and destroy played on both sides for that round right there to tie it all up at 1-1.
We'll see what the call might be. It looks like, again, we're going to go towards A. Rafi working through Tiki, but Genesis visitors, so easy to find that line of sight. Even if he doesn't pick up the kill, it is just information, and the most important kind, knowing where the bomb might be. Suspects Hockey might be near the boat. He is. Bomb advances regardless. And once he's cut off, maybe the advance comes through. There it goes. The bomb will start to push up. Genesis re-peeking the window. But Grad is thinking about working through the back and trying to take down Genesis.
They will be met with a player right on top of the bomb site. That's PD. And if they can't spot him and take him out, they're not getting that bomb down. One player in the back is tagged up from Grad. We see the tac mask, is going to resist the tactical grenade thrown towards him. He still gets cleaned up in the end as Genesis connects with him with the few shots remaining that he needed. 4 versus 3 situation. Team Moon still on a stellar defense on the A bomb site. And you have to imagine that Rafi from Elite 2 should be wrapping over here soon with the bomb down on A.
And the problem is they didn't know that Terrence already rotated all the way out towards the beach side. So he cuts down the last line of defense you really have to get towards the bomb. The bomb was in a horrible spot after the hop up, and they take it easily. So just a simple textbook retake on defense, playing numbers, rotating that AR all the way through the back, cutting down anyone trying to overextend with the bomb, and then you pick numbers apart appropriately. Well done by Team Moon. They go up 2-1 currently in this game too. And so far, the ARs are having a great time. PD running the sub at 4-2, but Terrence 3-1 kind of opened up the defensive collapse in that last round.
For anyone at home new to watching professional Call of Duty get played on Search and Destroy, keep an eye on the minimap. You can really see the gears turning. You can see the play calling unfold as we're seeing 3 players sent towards the A site. 1 sat behind at home is actually just going to be playing for the flank, watching for any of those players that might decide to get aggressive from the B site. But as you can see, no one's home. They're all sat defensively on B, and most of the plays unfolding towards the beach. Players tagged up. We see a headshot collected from the side of Elite 2, and that's first blood, which is huge. It's everything for the defensive front because the bomb carrier might as well be down as well. Terrence falls next. 4 versus 2 as Elite 2 are playing with this advantage very well.
And And Rafi is in a very good power position at this moment. Oh my god, Breezy had no chance. I don't know how he saw Breezy regardless, but PD so tagged up, nowhere to run. I mean, literally, you have bomb, there's literally nowhere you can go. And all tied up, 2-2. And a great retake, and more importantly, the power position from Rafi really pays off.
That it does. And I mean, when you get first blooded on the beach side of the map, when you're all playing towards A site, it's really tough to come back from. You saw they all just came swarming towards middle map. Rafi was able to sit pretty, never had to go anywhere, and collected all the kills he needed.
So much time on the clock and so many decisions to be made, but Resi at 0-4. Let's keep an eye on that. Grab your bomb carrier 4-2. Switching to the Krieg. A very quick advancement from Team Moon. So aggressive on defense. So far pushed up is PD. And he will win the first one. Genesis on the boat, so trades are there. Wardy takes down Genesis, and a wonderful retake on the beachfront. As that bomb is still down, but numbers for Elite 2.
Elite 2 answer back swiftly, and that is exactly what they needed, because that play from Team Moon, I certainly have to applaud it. I mean, we saw them get the first blood. They just weren't able to get away with that advantage. And it's going to leave Breezy in the 1 versus 3 bomb in the hand of Hockey. It's going to be going down at A. They don't even need the plant as the 2 players middle map finish the job and put another round on the board for Elite 2.
One of the more closely contested SNDs we've seen so far today. I know we've only seen 3, but still, just the wherewithal from both teams to understand the retakes at the beach. And again, not overly challenged. Those ARs in the back. 0-5 for Brezzy. But on the other side for Elite 2, about almost dead even, if not a little bit positive across the board. Everyone getting themselves involved, all contributing 3-2 lead, or 3-2 lead currently for Elite 2. Hop skipping a jump for Terrence. So he's going to go towards B. And it looks like the call will be to work through the top of piano.
And we see just how demanding a map like this is on the AR players, and that's because you need to be able to have the power to shut down submachine gun players. Look at the scoreboard; it's showing just like that. Breezy, 0 kills so far, and that's going to be because of the AR presence on the side of Elite 2. 2 huge long-range kills coming from the submachine gun and AR from the side of Team Moon. Got the bomb in hands of Breezy. They got control of the B site. Halfway done with the plant. Let's see what Hockey can do. Closest one to the action. Last man standing in a 1v3.
Decent shots ring out, but not really much to work with. Tied up again. It seems like that's kind of been the personality of this S&D. 1 round apiece. You take 1, I'll take 1. Great shots there.
Sharing is caring.
All tied up. It is.
Maybe not with prize money though.
Yeah, if you're fighting for like $30,000-$40,000, last thing I want is to help you get anywhere near top 2.
Tied up as both teams continue to trade blows in this back and forth series. 3-3 with Breezy finding his first kill in the previous round. The story so far in this Search and Destroy has been which AR player is going to find that first blood. We saw some aggressive play out of Team Moon as they sent players up on the beach, find the first blood, still get taken down, outnumbered, and in the end, they collapse. But still, very competitive Search and Destroy as the bomb is making its way towards the B site. In the hands of Grad.
No one drops yet. Terrence might find the first pick. Grad does not have the weapon to work with. Should not challenge. Rafi underneath will take down Brezzy. No one's moved up for Team Moon. After that first pick, they're still playing the exact same positions. Now finally we see a rotation from Genesis through mid-map. Terrence evens out the numbers. Grad thinking twice about that B hit. But where do you go? You can't run through mid. You don't know where anyone is for Team Moon. PD gets caught out, and now the rotation to A. Is this the break they needed?
We saw Terrence kind of single-handedly shut things down on the B site, and the call immediately changes to going over towards the A site. Bomb could be planted here soon, but we do have a defender just around the corner. Genesis stopped just in time. That's exactly what you needed from Wardy, the AR player looking over the shoulder of the bomb planter. Comes through in a huge way to get the bomb down. It's going to be Terrence left in a 1 versus 3 with the bomb down. 30 seconds to work with. One player on the beach is all it takes. This is able to stop him before he even crosses the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be it. Elite 2 takes another round in this, once again, back and forth, search and destroy. It's a really competitive affair so far. We're seeing two, I don't want to say evenly matched teams because we've only seen 2 maps from them so far, and they're also so early in their stages of playing alongside one another, except for maybe some of the duos in the lobby. But in this series so far, they appear to be evenly matched.
You know, Genesis, sometimes I just want to stare at the sky as well.
Yeah,
sometimes you just want to look up. Yeah, sometimes you just need a little quick refreshment. But, you know, don't hold your breath. This one could be 4-4 as quickly as we blink. And it seems like it just, you know, compared to the last couple SMBs we saw, once first blood happens, it's not a collapse immediately towards any site. It's very, very slow throughout the majority of the round. And that might be the same thing. First blood drops for both teams. 3v3. Numbers quickly fall. Rafi will drop. Grad on the outside of the bomb. If he gets lucky with timing, he will. You gotta get the kill. He'll do so. Bomb down. Numbers advantage to no one. How do you play this with bomb in a bad spot?
Genesis, who has finished stargazing, finds his first kill. 2 players still remaining, and now it's going to be the Stargazer last alive in a 1 versus 2. Morty's on a 4 streak. He's tagged up in the back. Can he get a kill here before being taken out? Semtex behind his feet, bullets in his chest. He falls, and Elite 2 put themselves at map point in this search and destroy.
Great shot from Morty, and they are 1 round away from tying this one up 1-1. And again, it's just been very, very back and forth. Not a whole lot to dissect other than what you've seen on your screens and what we have been able to watch as well. After first blood, you're looking at 3v3s across the board, and then whoever makes the first mistake, you just play it one at a time. 1 in 7 for Brezzy. Not a great game, but on the other side, Wardy, 9 in 4 on a 5 spree. Hockey
5
5
straight.
5. Yeah.
On the offensive side of things, we'll have to see how it unfolds. It's a map point for them currently. Looks like a number of players are headed towards the A side of the map. There could be an engagement here shortly in the middle between Rafi and Terrence. But both players actually end up backing off from one another. Not a whole lot of presence on the A site from the defensive team, as the closest one is going to be Genesis. However, with how slowly Elite 2 is playing it, it might not end up coming back to hurt them. Hockey moving up just a little bit to get a little more information from the boats. No one coming around for the flank, but just in case they do, they have Wardy, the Titan, the Titan of the lobby so far at 5 kills in a row to watch it.
Yeah.
This could also end up unfolding into a pinch here space as the first shots come out.
Wardy gets cut. I was going to say, Wardy was doing the same thing Terrence was, and that setup looks so weird because he was out of position. But if he doesn't find a kill, that is a problem. He does not. Team Moon find 2. 1 will get cut, but still, you're looking at a 3v2. Entirely winnable. Terrence on the outside should have spotted Rafi. Rafi will get cut down thanks to PD. Hockey has no chance on the bomb. 5-4 now. And I was waiting for Wardy to either find that kill and back off, or at least find some info to where you'd see the collapse on the minimap, but he found nothing. And as soon as he drops, I mean, you have given up the entirety of that map. You can only go to A if you are Elite 2. And that was the only decision they had.
And that's not a position you want to be in, right? Because when you have someone like PD who sat at hedges and can watch both the A site and overlook middle map, he's able to find double kills like that, what you just saw in the round-ending kill count. We mentioned how important that AR presence is, and PD and Wardy look to be the first players in the lobby approaching 10 kills. Offensive round coming from Team Moon as they do send 3 players towards B. They will be met with 2 individuals on the side of Elite 2, that's Wardy and Grad. Nothing unfolding just yet as they're working their way through the garage, trying to find someone that exposes just too much of them. The high ground advantage coming from Elite 2 as Wardy sat up top with the AK-74. We'll have to see how they play this out. They don't even look. Wardy is able to find a kill that goes unanswered. Genesis behind him for the flank throw. You see the communication kind of crumble right there in that moment, but in the end, Genesis is able to come out on top with positioning. We'll see if a bomb plant can maybe come out of this because they do still have the man advantage at 3 versus 2. But their best player so far, Wardy, has fallen.
Well, Hockey might play spoiler if he can hurry up and get cross map. Rafi's so weak, has to back up, but Hockey's in the back. He can get Terrence if he's lucky. He should, yep, he spots him, takes one down, challenged immediately. PD, not long for this world, somehow still alive. He'll get cut. Rafi comes in for the cross. What a beautiful, beautiful pinch from Elite 2. They take it 6-4 in game 2. Hockey takes enough time to get across the map. He takes down 1 and plays his life, gets the call out, and Rafi comes in and cleans up the last 2. What a beautiful retake.
Definitely surgical. I mean, we kind of saw things unfold around Piano, like we mentioned before the game started. It's all about that Piano control, and it just fell apart. Lots of back and forth in the first 7 maybe rounds of that search and destroy, but in the end, we saw it. We saw how it concluded.
Yeah, it really was just kind of a battle of the first bloods and a battle of whoever capitalizes on not getting killed at the outskirts for the majority of that S&D, and then they close it out in the subsequent rounds. You're looking at, they went up, what, like 5-3, and then it was 5-4, then 6-4, but still, Elite 2 did a great job of slowing down the pace. A couple of times we saw Terrence on Team Moon kind of wait for positioning and then wait consistently, but Elite 2 took that note and they put it right in their playbook and said, we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to send Hockey and we're going to send Wardy to overextend. If we don't get the kill, we'll figure out something on the fly. But still, they were using the same thing that Team Moon was using. And even in the replays that we have, it just seemed like they were consistently finding a way to stay alive for long durations of time that then they could snowball that into, you know, equal trades that allowed them to have the number advantage. But it was a back and forth S&D all the way through. There were many rounds where you could say either team had a chance to break the game open.
For sure, and I think a lot of it was off the back of the AR players. We saw Rafi in stellar positioning alongside Wardy. They were just able to sit back, sit pretty, and just pick heads off from range. A little bit of that from PD as well, especially when it comes to defending the bomb site directly. That hedges position is crucial to Miami search and destroy. We saw it unfold as those 2 juggernauts approached 10 kills before anyone else in the lobby. And you mentioned it comes down to those first bloods. It comes down to that AR player presence.
Well, now we move into our game 3, move into our control. You guys know the deal, how the series lays out. And this one is still relatively up in the air. I've been so impressed with the back and forth and the competition in the S&D. The hardpoint was a little bit different and much closer, but still there are moments where, you know, you're looking for flashes of brilliance from either of these teams. We look at Checkmate coming up in a very neutral map and mode combo for a lot of teams, because not only is A so difficult, but it really does come down to just, you know, how well do you play through mid-map, through the plane? How easily are you able to pick up kills? So of all the maps, I feel like Checkmate's a bit of a toss-up, especially with this series.
It is, and I think we're going to see less control coming up from the AR players that we saw in Miami Search and Destroy, and it's more so going to be about the maneuverability of your submachine gun players. That awkwardly shaped plane in the middle of the map demands so much out of your submachine gun players, and I think that that's going to be very telling as to who's able to come out on top here. What are your predictions, Space? What are you looking at here in this matchup?
Oh man, well, I mean, just looking at how confident and comfortable, right, like PD and Genesis looked in the respawns, I feel like I have to do the caster bias thing and just say, hey, I'm looking at them to have a similar performance in the control, because again, it's S&D and Hardpoint had a kid and you have to play your lives appropriately. But if PD and Genesis can continue to work their magic and have that impact on the respawn, you should be looking at Team Moon to take game 3, and then we move into a Hardpoint. But Elite 2, I mean, Wardy and Hockey look like they're finally stepping up. The reason they didn't take that first Hardpoint was because Grad slowed down tremendously, and was because Wardy was having a bit of a slower game throughout the middle of that game 1. So you're going to need everyone to step up for Elite 2, but we go into Checkmate control, we go into one of the more difficult map mode combos, and knowing how A can be tumultuous, to say the least, for your ARs, and especially when it comes to just getting progression onto the point, you need subs to have a big day. You need subs to be a presence on the map and a force. I think PD's going to have a great time. I think he's going to be loving life in this map 3. But again, we want to know what you guys think. Let us know in the chat. Fox, same question to you. Who you taking in this third map?
I'm looking to see PD take it away. I think, like you said, PD and Genesis, that's going to be a deadly combination in this checkmate control. We're also at an interesting point in the Challenger series where we're not seeing the XM4 anymore, right? Players are running that Krieg alongside the AK-74U, so that changes up your play style a little bit. Do you think that favors either one of these teams?
I'm probably looking at Team Moon just because Genesis looks more comfortable right now with the sub. And I believe the last time we watched him in Season 1, he was running, I think, an XM4. So he looks like he's having more freedom on the map. And Petey, who's been roaming between the AK-74U and the Krieg. But surprised we haven't seen any QBZs pulled out yet from any team so far. It's a long day. It's going to be a long week, but plenty of time for that to be a reality. Let's get into game number 3. Let's get into our second control we've seen so far today. And last one was a bit interesting. It came down to the game clock and not necessarily the lives or the points. Maybe that'll be a similar situation here, but I have a feeling we're going to be looking at a much closer control than what we're used to.
That we might first, if it's anything like map 1 and 2, I think that we're going to see the same, just as you said, 3 straight for Team Moon, as we're seeing the defensive team push up aggressively with the spawn of Elite 2, all spawning in that top right-hand corner, but the double kill from Raffi puts them back just a little bit, relieving the pressure from these players if they're coming up off of that respawn timer, and pushing up towards the lane, top lane towards the A site, the A point, excuse me. They still have players to deal with on plane. One dropping down from yellow box to still the shots coming in from middle map are going to be enough to defend the point.
And so quickly, we're already down to 15 seconds and counting on the game clock. Elite 2 looking for that first bit of progress onto A. They'll finally get it, but Petey wants to stop as much as possible. He gets shot, and so does Terrence, able to pick up 1 kill in the process, but progression's still there. Raffi wins the gunfight. How many times have we hopped near his screen, or at least his POV, and he's able to pick up 1, 2, possibly 3. One more is going to challenge, and the only reason Raffi drops is because he was reloading. But with that damage, 6 seconds to go, you have to hop into a point, and you have to commit numbers. 2 will drop. Do you have enough time to collapse? You do. Off the back of 2 kills from Wardy. And Genesis rotating at the bottom of the wing, but the first bit of progress is in onto A, and Elite 2 have some room to work with.
Yeah, and like you said, Wardy was huge and for that play that just unfolded right there, for them to get some tick progress time on the A site, just over a second in this round round remaining if they can't capture a point, but it looks like they're making stellar progress towards it. Anyway, back to the point. I mentioned that the submachine gun players will be crucial. That's why we're seeing someone like Hawkey secure the first point for the side of Elite 2, but you have to mention how important it is to hop up on the wing of the plane or hop up on one of the crates with an AR and hold it down, put the team on their backs.
Genesis pushing through the back, but Grad luckily has a guardian angel behind him. It's Wardy, Krieg in hand. Top of the plane, been able to lock down a couple. They get the full progress on A, so we put another minute on the clock, but so quickly, again, it has dwindled down. Now working on the first part of B. Will they get the full cap at this moment? The answer is yes. Kills start to fall in the back of the plane. Wardy, very, very weak, but they just quickly eliminate everyone. Didn't even take a look at the actual life count, as they could just sit inside the point. And thanks to Wardy on the plane, the first round goes in favor of Elite 2.
Yeah, look at this, man. He is cozy. And again, I mentioned the maneuverability of the submachine gun players. This is right where you want your AR players to be. On top of the crates, on top of the wings, overlooking spawns and crucial lines of sight. That's exactly what Wardy did, and he bought his team so much time for the clock to run out there.
He's just vibing, having a great time. How can you not when you're at 10-4 on a 6 spree? And now we look at Team Moon. Now is their chance to play some offense. And Ali said it earlier, you know, one of the first teams, or the first couple of teams to be able to really lock down offense, figure out how to play it on this map, will usually be the most successful. So far, it's worked out in this matchup. PD wins the first gunfight, and they are winning the initial break. They're about to cap that second part of B, and they are quickly taking back control on the plane.
No Elite 2 players remaining on the point right now, as Moon is able to secure point B. Looking at the pressure moving over towards the A site, you have to imagine that the players from Elite 2 will try to wrap around, set up a pinch here towards crates, but it looks like the kills are still going in favor of the attacking team as Team Moon make halfway progress towards Tier 1 there. Double kill coming out of the side of Grad. That's exactly what they needed to release some of the pressure that was unfolding on that very early capture from the side of Team Moon. 2 minutes to work with just to capture 1 more point.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, right? I mean, that double kill really helps open up mid-map and just slows the first push. And then you have to regroup as a team. Terrence at 4-11, having a very, very slow start to this control. Crazy will take out one with the nade under the wing. You have numbers here for Elite 2. But Wardy thinking about rotating through the back, trying to find those spawns and then lock everything down. Shot punch not even near a realm of possibility. Hawkey takes down PD. Numbers funnel. Trades are there. kills continue for Elite 2. A minute 27, you still have to go for the capture if you're Team Moon. They're trying to think about their first push back onto A, but it comes down to the kills, right? Working through the back of the plane. It looks like they want to be able to flip spawns, but the close spawns are there for Elite 2, and if they get lucky, they can just go in for an easy break, but they won't. It's all for dead.
Huge blue wall right there. That's exactly what Team Moon needed, because all 4 players from Team Elite were certainly around the corner of having all 4 players approach 10 kills, but Team Moon answer right back. Still 6 kills straight as they're sitting on the A point, and not much of a response from the side of Elite 2, all spawning out so far away, and we can see that tick progress coming to its conclusion. Team Moon puts a round on the board with so many kills in a row right there. Elite 2 were just getting gunned.
Such a gutsy call to rotate together as a team all the way to wood and flank back as a unit. Try to pick up kills that are necessary to lock down that push, and they do so. And both teams having success on the early starts of these offensive rounds. They both find their first points of the game. And now, I guess, unlike how this map and mode combo works, it's going to come down, I guess, to the offenses, because the defenses have not been able to hold off anyone.
Off the break here, Team Moon on defense. Team Elite, we're looking for the eyes of Wardy, who has been a ward in this map with the Krieg in hand. However, he is blooded first by Breezy. All kills in favor of Team Moon. Elite 2 have not put too many points on the board for the past 2 or 3 minutes of Call of Duty. You got to see them answer back here soon, as Brad's sitting pretty waiting. He finds a kill in his first gun engagement. Surely he's got a big sign above his head for someone to trade him, but no answers just yet. Genesis still sat around middle map with the 74, right where you want him to be with the submachine gun. A minute on the clock.
I mean, so far he's feeling more comfortable, you can tell, with the sub than he has been with the XM4 in last season. And even though he gets cut down there, the sub pressure onto the plane has been working for Team Moon. Now it comes down to actually closing out on the deal. They're able to find 2. Grad on the top of the wing will even the trade out. But as numbers fall and nades fly through, the time continues to dwindle. They're looking at just maybe 1 or 2 more decent pushes before you desperately need to commit to a site. It looks like A will be the call. How do they move through? Rafi trying to find one on the top of the plane, but not much to work with. They have to move into the point. Finally, they'll get a touch. They get the kills necessary, and they can work on the progression.
And this is very scary if you're Elite 2, because you've been getting outslayed for the past 5 minutes. Team Moon, except for the last wave of engagements, has opened up all of them with at least a double kill. So now that has ceased, we're seeing Elite 2 find the second tier progress on the A site. 14 seconds on the clock. They're hoping to add 45 to it if they can capture this point. Genesis makes a difference on the plane as he's able to relieve some of the pressure on the map. Let's see if he can stay alive and support Team Moon on their next defensive setup. 2 kills in a row. Every time that's happened, that's spelled trouble for the side of Elite 2. We'll see if Team Moon can remain consistent with their presence.
We put another 60 seconds on the clock, and still plenty of time to orchestrate a hit. Think about your decisions and think about how you want to approach this site under the plane. But the kills all fall for Elite 2. And like you were talking about with Team Moon, same thing happens for Elite 2. They find 3 in a row, 18 and 14 for Rafi on a 6 free. Brad can't hit the shots, but the teammates are there to do the dirty work regardless. He's going to back up, fully tagged. Wardy will find another. Rafi will find another. It just seems like every single time there's an open break or an open look for Team Moon, they get cut down so far out of the point. The progression continues. They will get the second tick. No one will contest. So at least for the moment, you have 2 ticks and you have 49 seconds to get the third.
Yeah, they've been getting mowed down here, Space. This is probably the most breathing room they've had so far on this point, is in the last few seconds. We'll see if they can get a player to actually stay alive on the plane, but once again, they can't. Rafi is able to put down the last one. Terrence looking to do some damage from range here, but they know where he's at. Semtex at his feet, he's dead, and Elite 2 finds a round win again. That was tough. That last minute was hard to watch.
And it's crazy how quickly these numbers can fall. I mean, you're looking at a 9v1, at least in the life count, with that final engagement. And what do? It's a 1v9. Like, if you clutch that, we might as well crown you the greatest of all time. But at this moment, it just comes down to the trades, and they've been there for Elite 2. Team Moon able to pick up a couple left and right, get some jabs into the point. But Elite 2 just they respond, they resurge, and they rebound so well. 21 and 15 for Wardy. Hockey at 14 and 16. 22 and 15 for Rafi. I mean, you're at 43 and 30 combined. Like, that is just so difficult to bounce off against. and now they're up 2-1. If they take this control, they go up 2-1 in the series, then they look like they are just ready to close out this game 3.
If you're just tuning in, Team Moon and Elite 2 have been going back and forth in this brawl, trading blows. The AR players have really been telling the story. You see Terrence on your screen right there. He was able to support a couple of kills for his team to make massive progress through Tier 3 of Zone B. And Breezy looks poised to close it out. The contest comes in at just the last moment, though. Huge stop from the side of Elite 2 as Rafi's able to find 2 kills in a row before being stopped. The progress has still been contested as Hockey's in position to stop them.
They're capturing B so quickly, but the neutralization is there. So you buy yourself some time if you're Elite 2, and now you can regain map control if you're on Hockey's POV. If he picks up a kill or 2, this is going to be massive. Able to find 1 to turn and burn, almost. But he might have bought his team enough time to be able to move up together and contest and defend this 8 point. Here come the streaks.
Yeah. Streaks are coming in. Rafi's dropping missiles from the top of this hangar here. You see Wardy on your scoreboard alongside Rafi are approaching 30 kills. The only player close to them is Petey with 24, and we've seen how much damage he's been able to do with the Krieg. Maybe this is exactly who you need sitting on your A point right now. He's got the support of his own trophy system as well as the AR player on his side, Terrence, lighting it up with 2 kills in the kill feed. Genesis, excuse me. As Elite pushed back just a little bit towards the left side of the map. They gotta come and stop him here soon, but Team Moon is able to close out the round and tying it up at 2-2. We're going into the tiebreaker.
They could not be more back and forth. I mean, just look at the S&D, right? It was 4-4 for a while. Things break away. Similar situation in the control. A couple of times we've seen it come down to the life count, but man, both offenses playing this so well. I think we've only seen maybe 1 defense win. I don't even know if that's right. But my God, it is not often you see the offenses having success on this map and mode. 21 and 20 for Terrence. PD at 25 and 22. Everyone else, negative. First blood goes the way of Elite 2 and second blood. We'll keep an eye on the life count. You keep an eye on the score. Grad working through the back of the lane, able to find the kill. So numbers still dropping for Team Moon early. It's not a huge problem, but you're giving up map pressure and control. And they just can't find anything. Elite 2 are shutting down every single attempt.
Wow, yeah, Elite 2, once Grad was able to slip the net and get behind Team Moon, we've just been seeing it crumble so far in this opening round of control. Still very early on, 45 seconds on the clock, but the way that these submachine gun players are moving, you think that this round's going to be ending here shortly. Big beatdown. Petey's able to find a kill right there in the end as Team Moon still have 2 players sitting on the A point that they have to deal with if they want to capture it. We're seeing some progress made towards the site as Breezy was able to find a kill on crates. But this plane control still in favor of Elite 2. You got to get them out of there if you want to capture any of these control points. Again, the damage from those ARs proving to be a huge deciding factor in terms of map control. And we'll have to see what unfolds on the A site here with just 20 seconds remaining. Team Moon's got to grab something.
Jeez. And that double kill from Morty isn't only big just because it's a double kill. It's big because it distracted everyone else from Team Moon and it allowed Elite 2 to rotate together as a unit to get onto the point so they can just neutralize this entire zone. 3 seconds to go. You got to get somewhere. They won't. Maybe defense will win. Finally, all 4 dead. What a time for a team wipe. 1.5 on the clock. Now here comes the problem. We have to hold off another push. A full push from Elite 2. Will they be able to do it? PD, great shots to cut down 1. Top plane control has been there for Elite 2, but the numbers are still here. And here comes the contest. And they'll put 60 seconds on the clock. What a time to do it. 13 to 11 life count still in favor of Team Moon.
35 from the side of Wardy. PD approaching the same. All of his other teammates contributing as well as they push the 20-point mark. We're moving to point B, and they have 45 seconds left on the clock. Awesome effort coming out of Team Moon right there. You really saw cohesive teamwork as they sat on top of the objective, and now we're also seeing them light it up in the kill column. We'll have to see if they can remain with their presence on middle map, but Wardy is just constantly a thorn in their side. This man is doing so much with the Krieg in hand.
He's on something different today. It's constant 2 pieces. PD, no chance. Stop challenging that. Somehow still alive. 6-6. 20 seconds now. 6 versus 5. Team Moon have the life advantage. You got to play your lives as well. 6-4. The wipes come through. Elite 2 have done such a great job, and Wardy's basically been hard carrying. But it comes down to the trades, and Team Moon are winning it. Streaks are in. No one will die. 11 seconds to go. How do they play through the bottom of the plane? Breezy picks up one. More will fall. 3v3. Dead even. Here comes the challenge.
And you're kind of clenching and holding your breath at this point because Breezy knows there's somebody around the corner. He turns him and gives him a quick whack. He's able to take him down. 2 players fall, actually, as Petey's able to connect with another. Rafi, last alive in a 1 versus 1 against Petey. He's at a distance. Petey with the 74. He looks away. Some progress towards Zone B. I don't think he knows where Rafi's at. I don't like this. I don't like where he's looking here.
What?
In Elite 2. In the end, Rafi's able to find the last kill on an inattentive and unaware Petey.
I understand Petey didn't see him, but don't stand in the open like that. Get back onto the plane. What a interesting way to end that 1v1. I mean, Wardy was just shutting down every single member. It was 9-6, and then 9-5, and then 7-5, and it kept dwindling. We got to a point where they ran out of lives. Elite 2 literally ran out of lives. And at the end, Petey doesn't see him, but then he just stands there in the open for like 15 seconds. And that's it. That is just a weird way to end map number 3. But I mean, congrats to Elite 2, right? They go up 2-1 in the series now. And I mean, what more could you say about Wardy? I mean, that was his map. He was dismantling consistent 2 pieces, 3 pieces, finding ways to rally kills to cut together collectively to help his team secure good chunks of time onto those points. But Fox, looking at that last game, I mean, the final 4 or 5 kills that went back and forth, it was plane control for Team Moon, and then it kind of dwindled, and then they rush off spawn. And then that's it. It seemed like they kind of gave up a position to close out that final round. Let's take a look at the replays and kind of break down for me how this map went, and more importantly, how that final round went.
So what we saw throughout this checkmate control was a lot of damage coming from the AR players. I mean, you're seeing it right here. Petey, Wardy, also Rafi. He didn't have huge streaks like Wardy did, but he had score streaks. He had explosive moments. Even in that closing moment where the life differential was what was the difference maker. We saw him call in that missile strike, find 1 kill. And not just that, plenty of information for his team on their final push of the round.
Sure.
And of course, in the end, Petey gets caught unaware. Kind of backtracking a little bit though, not a whole lot I feel coming from the submachine gun players on the B site. I think that we mostly saw the AK-74U players make a difference on A, but still, really, it was an AR player's story this entire map. That's what I think, Space.
Yeah, it seemed like, you know, I don't know if that was the only round that a defense actually won, but the offenses were on fire for both sides. It just came down to 1 defensive hold and 1 great play from Elite 2 to take out Petey. Now they're up 2-1. They take the S&D, they take the control, and now we go to a hard point. We go to our game 4, and this is a moment where I think Elite 2, you know, the fact that not that there wasn't a lot to go on with both these teams, but because they're so new, we build the storyline from scratch, from base, you know, from level 0. At this point, I think that Elite 2 have all of the right tools in their belt to be able to take this series 3-1. I've been impressed with Petey's performance. I've been impressed with Genesis. But after that, I've been just kind of blown away with how Wardy's been playing, with how Hockey's been playing, and Rafi's really stepped up, right? Clutch 2 pieces consistently. Now we look at a hard point. What are you expecting from Team Moon? How do they need to bounce back in this series to avoid a 3-1?
Well, you know, you're so right. I think you said it best, is that we're still very early on in their story. The ink is still drying. These guys still have so much to add. I mean, in that control, I certainly didn't expect to see Wardy and Rafi run away with the game the way that they did. We saw some stellar map presence coming from them. They were able to stay alive around planes so much. So as we get into this Garrison Hardpoint, I'm kind of leaning towards Elite 2 now. I mean, I definitely saw Team Moon taking this series, but the way that Wardy has been playing in this series, I don't think that there's much in the arsenal of Team Moon to stop him right now.
Yeah, I think that at this moment, like, just off of the eyeball test, what tells us the current state of both these rosters, Elite 2 look like they are in a prime position to have this series at least in the palm of their hands and possibly send this one home 3-1. But we go to Garrison Hardpoint, and after that, it's Raid S&D back-to-back in both these series. But Garrison Hardpoint, our first time seeing it for Season 2. And like we've said, right, S&D and Garrison's been taken out in place of Express, and we've seen Crossroads get moved out in place of Apocalypse. And I know that a lot of people, and specifically teams, enjoyed Crossroads Hardpoint because it was so chaotic and because your subs could really have a field day, and Creeks tended to thrive on that map. But now that we move that out, we've seen more players again kind of push for Checkmate Hardpoint and push for Raid Hardpoint to be that first map. Most of the time it was Crossroads setting the standard, setting the tone of the series. That's changed now. But we go into Garrison. The ARs obviously can have a field day on this map, but it's going to come down to pressure in green, and on those rotations I need those subs on all fronts to be there. Fox, what are you looking at for at least power positions on this map?
Like you said, all around green, it's going to be about those submachine gun players. It's our first time seeing Garrison today on stream, and I'm looking forward to see how players like Genesis, as you mentioned, coming from an AR role to more running the submachine gun for his team in this matchup. I'm looking forward to see what he can contribute for Team Moon, because they definitely need it right now. PD needs some support. I mean, we're seeing it come from Terrence every now and then, but we need consistency out of them. We need them to close out these maps. They need to have that resilience to see it to its finish.
It's just, can you help me, please? One of those texts in the DMs. But look, I'm sure the comms are lighting up for both teams, and it would be awesome at some point, to be able to hear what exactly they're saying during those high octane moments. But all we really know at the end of the day is, again, this is week 1, and one of the nice things about this being the first week of season 2 is not only have roster changes kind of overtaken the off-season drama, which is very nice, but it also means that there is room for improvement. This is the first day of week 1. If you lose, it's not really a huge deal. Yes, it might hurt you down the line, but there's plenty of time to be able to rebuild the roster and rebuild the confidence and make small adjustments on the fly. And we can set the story going into next week and the week after that, so that the players and the teams and the fans and the casters like us can understand where these players sit, where the teams are orchestrated, and what the storylines are. Because a lot of these teams that are new, like these 2 rosters, are building their storyline for challengers, and they are help building their profile and their cachet for any scouts that might be potentially watching. So you always want to bring your A game, but at this moment, all teams have been doing that. Let's get into the hardpoint. More importantly, I'm excited to see Garrison, because I love Garrison. I love it as a hardpoint map. I am excited to see who wins the battle of the subs in top green, who elects to rotate early, and how the ARs do. Wardy's been an absolute monster. Fox, I feel like we have to check out what Wardy's doing, man. He's just been so electric. He's been so good. He almost had 40 kills in the control. He's been a difference maker.
Yeah, we got to get to the bottom of this. Man's got an awesome shot. He wastes no ammo. He puts the 3 or 4 bullets out that he needs and moves on to the next kill. He found nearly 40 of them on Checkmate, and as we move from the hangar to the Garrison, we'll have to see what he can contribute here as well.
And this is one of the more interesting maps, right? I mean, S&D gets taken out, and I know that control can be pretty hectic at times, but you look at the hard point, and there are certainly moments where money hills come into play. I mean, you're even looking at P3, right? That long rotation, having AR set up way in the back for spawns, and if you can lock it down through caution, you are sitting nice. But it comes down to just rallying those kills appropriately. Like we said a billion times, you'll continue to hear us say it throughout the majority of this season. But off the start, it's about a 20-point lead for Team Moon. They gain an early, they're set up, but you also have to worry about that rotation to P2, and over there, you're wondering who's going to get the subsequent kills. But off the start, a neutral hill, and time goes back for Team Moon.
It's like these opening moments of these respawn game modes are like clockwork. He comes out, knows exactly where the opposition is going to be, finds several kills in a row, and mounts his team a lead off the start. We saw it in the Raid Hardpoint. We saw some more of it in the Control, and now we're seeing it here on Garrison Hardpoint. PD also already set up for the Green Hill, the initial time going to his team as well, to mount them nearly a 40-second. Breezy pushing out through bricks, connects with 3 in the middle of the map for his 5 streak. This is a big start for his team.
And Hockey said, absolutely no way I'm turning around and challenge that. Make that 6 in a row, 7 in a row. Brezzy is on something different right now. Someone get this man a PH test. I don't know what's going on, but he is snapping. 11-1. And we were going to talk about Radar Hardpoint in P2, but is there even a need? Streaks are in. This is probably the fastest I've ever seen someone get streaks on this map, let alone a hardpoint in general. 11-1. And they are set up nice. 73-10. He just needs to stay alive and continue to play his life.
One player slipped the net, though. That's Grad, who was able to get through to the hard point. He gets a few seconds on the board. It ends up not amounting to much, as the rotation has already started from the side of Team Moon. 2 players falling simultaneously right there certainly spells trouble for the blue team, as Team Elite 2 are looking to get their first setup of this hard point, as we're 3 hills into it. Score streaks already raining down from the sky, not connecting with much. But Team Moon, they're bouncing right back and doing just as much damage as they were in the opening moments.
And for Elite 2, outside of Brezi's quick start 11-1, I mean, this game is not over, but you definitely need to start thinking about, contesting the hill, because at some point, this scrap time's just going to become that much more differential, or it's going to be difficult. Let's just end the sentence there. There's 2 kills, and the collapse comes in. Team Moon again with a great entry and a great break, and they're going to get the last 15 or so seconds. Elite 2 have not done much. I mean, what? They win the rotation, they get picked off in the bottom of the map, and after that, they have not really sniffed the hard point. They are nowhere near, at least in a position to be able to hold on for some decent time.
They've been watching Breezy and PD play the game for most of this map so far. These submachine guns have been absolutely brutalizing them since the game started. Hockey sat pretty in the hard point at 3-8. He has the support of Wardy. He quickly falls, and now it's him on his own, an American surrounded by 3 different players. They swarm on him. PD takes his head off, and Rafi, last man standing, gets cut short as well. And we see Team Moon right back where they're used to being in this Garrison Hardpoint on the objective. It's an 80-point lead at this point. Plenty of hill time to go on this one. And Elite 2 opens up the next wave of engagements with their first kill. Let's see what they can make of it.
It seems like they've missed no beats since that first hardpoint. I know the S&D was a little bit slower, and the control didn't really go their way. Maybe that pissed them off a little bit, because at this moment, another 100-point lead. That's kind of been the consensus so far for hardpoints today. They continue to rally up time. Terrence at top green, he's going to back up, and we're going to look at that P5 rotation. But already there is Grad, 8 and 9. Can he find Terrence at the top of radar? That nade won't connect. Rafi finds 2 kills. Wardy finds a 3rd. Grad with great shots. He'll pick him up. So P5 will be locked down for Elite 2, and they finally have some early time they can fight over.
Genesis has 3 kills, and his team is up by 100 seconds. On the opposite side, we're seeing Hockey with 3, just now finding 4. And really, they weren't able to touch the objective for the most part until the last 20 seconds. So we're seeing them start to come back to life a little bit here, but this massive deficit they've dug themselves into, how will they build back better out of it? Wardy sat pretty inside bricks, surrounded by the enemy team. They sniffed him out, shut them down just that quickly. Hockey peppering some players before backing up. He has support there with him. You gotta love to see it from the submachine gun players on the hard point, but Terrence is looking to make a difference. Finds 1 kill and backs up before getting support from the submachine gun. The AK-74U again forcing its way through to get the scrap time in favor of Team Moon, who are still double the score of Team Elite. Hockey found 1 kill in that last hill, and now as we're getting back to the beginning rotation, we'll have to see how it plays out.
Things could be worse at this moment. They don't get a lot of time on P5, but it could be much, much worse. Still, they're working through together as a unit. This Wardy, sub in hand, elects to put away the Creek for the moment. 11 and 9. Utility is out. No one gets tagged, but so far, 12, 13, 14 seconds going their way. Maybe the kills will help out. 2 will fall. Team Moon committing a couple of resources. In a full push here, they get the break. And they have 20 seconds to fight over before we look at the rotation towards radar. Brezio on the screen, winning the gunfight in lights. And now the collapse goes to radar, but look, it's Terrence set up there first, 10 and 10. And talk about a great way to win the rotation and the spawns. Look at where Elite 2 have to run through at mid-map. Brezzy is just walking through the back of the defense. I mean, it could not get easier than that. It's like a hot knife through butter. They're just moving through this setup that Elite 2 had. And they didn't have spawns, now they have them. They didn't have the hold, now they have it. I mean, how much easier does it have to be?
Yeah, Brezzy first one to break 20. We kind of saw him just walking his way through the setup of Elite 2, maneuvering his way in and around the enemy team to find so many kills in a row, get his team that hard point control back, maintaining that massive lead that they've had since the break in this hill. 100 points on the board ahead of the side of Team Elite, and it doesn't look like they have any signs of slowing down anytime soon.
It's all 3 in the kill feed, all blue for Team Moon. Finding kills left and right, just shutting down Elite 2's attempts at a defensive break. Rafi in the back will be able to pick up a kill, and PD drops, but the call-out's there, and Genesis will get that trade. So the tag comes in, and the cleanup perfect. Now the numbers have to trade. 292. The rotation has to be there again. Elite 2 lose the rotational battle. Hockey at 9 and 15. This sub has not been working, and on this map, your subs better work. It just hasn't been there. You can win it on every single hit for Team Moon. Scrap time is good enough, and they get the break, they get the first couple of kills, and they take down every single team push. Team Moon look like they're about to send this to a game 5.
Yeah, and if you were tuning in to watch NA play, I mean, Team Moon is looking to make you wait just a little bit longer as they seem positioned to force the game 5. Brezzy on another 5 streak, looking to break 30 kills before several players inside of Elite could even break 10. Hockey just found his, or before several players inside of Elite could even break 20. Hockey just found his 10th kill. The submachine gun players untouchable on the objective. 20 seconds separate Team Moon from victory. Well over 150 separate Elite 2 from even being close to in this game, and they could certainly close it out on this hardpoint here if they go untouched.
Well, Terrence is shooting like that. Resident member of House Slytherin at the moment. He is absolutely untouched in the hill, and they're going to close it out, send it to a game 5. He was there for 45 seconds, found 5 kills, and no one came close to taking him out of position. What a showing. Team Moon 100-point club, Elite 2. And my, oh my, this game 5 might be spicy if everyone's shooting like that.
Absolutely whooped. We saw Team Moon come through as a force of nature. The submachine gun play on point from start to finish. PD opened it up in an explosive way, and they were just unkillable throughout that map, it seems, right? There were so many moments where they were able to hold down on those hills like a vice grip and mount massive leads against Team Elite 2.
Yeah, I really don't know what more to say about that map. I mean, Team Moon just pulled out the switch and started beating bums. Like, they were just clapping everyone off the point. And it seemed like for a couple of hills, right, like Elite 2 were able to maybe find a kill or two. And I mean that, just a kill or two. After that, Fox, it was consistent. You try to rotate early, it's not going to happen. You try to set up, it's not going to happen. You try to kill us in mid-map, not going to happen. There was never a moment in that hard point where a solid hold was pulled off by Elite 2. They never had control. Team Moon just found a way to break them down every single time. And Brezzy was slipping through mid-map in the behind the defense, flanking them and taking them apart. Like, here are the replays. That's just essentially a highlight reel of Team Moon's success, but that was just disgusting what we saw in the map, and it went by so quickly. I think it's now just hitting me how dominant that entire hardpoint was.
I mean, Genesis never broke 10 kills. The whole hardpoint, he was able to sit in the objective, and his team was outslaying Team Elite 3 versus 4, right? The submachine guns were untouchable. There was no one getting past them. The lead was colossal from start to finish. And I mean, we saw some signs of life. We saw Raffi doing a little bit of damage, but it really just was not enough.
Yeah. No, it really wasn't. And when Genesis is 5-14 and you're up by 100, 150, that's a pretty good situation to be in. And it seemed like they just were relentless when it came to winning big gunfights. Brezzy started off 11-1. He had streaks within the first 30 seconds of the game. Like, we literally went through one hill and he was 11-1. He had full streaks. That shouldn't happen. And the fact that it did, and he continued to mount that into a sizable lead in a sizable position on the map, shows you the strength of this team, and it shows you what the storyline might be. Now we go into raid S&D, and another situation where it could be a toss-up completely, but the respawns have certainly just been out of hand. Team Moon have been having Elite 2's number. The checkmate control was a little bit different, a little bit weird, but we go into S&D now, and same situation, man. You need Wardy, you need Raffi, you need Hockey to be effective, to be successful if they want to shut down Team Moon, especially on a map like Raid.
If you're just tuning in, we're seeing the conclusion of a hardpoint on Garrison. Unlike any other map in this series, it has been nothing but a back and forth brawl of two very competitively similar teams so far in this series. Again, two very new rosters, of course, coming into the Challenger Series, new to each other and new to us, viewers, spectators alike. Game 4, Team Moon, absolute trouncing. Team Elite didn't stand a chance from the moment they loaded into the lobby. But getting into the search and destroy on Raid, we saw just how methodical and tactical both of these teams were on Miami. I'm expecting to see more of the same as we get onto Raid. This map has been out for a decade now. They know it like the back of their hand, or at least they should.
Yeah, I was to say, if you don't know Raid by now, you might never know it, because this one's been out for, oh God, looking at almost
don't donate, don't do it.
11 years,
Oh,
something like that.
it hurts.
So,
it hurts.
yeah, it's listen, the fact that it's been around that long and it's still as excellent as ever, and we're now getting Express in rotation. It is a beautiful time to be a Call of Duty fan, and more importantly, it's a beautiful time to be a Call of Duty competitor, because what better way to get a taste of that beautiful map rotation in maps like Raid and Express and that glory of, you know, the 2012 days. Then with this new setup, 44 Call of Duty is back, hardpoints are thriving, the S&D scene is excellent, and Raid, you know, coming back in rotation for a lot of these players. This is their first time having the experience, and it's been fun to like watch the reactions on Twitter, like them saying, wow, I didn't expect Raid to play this well. I'm like, yeah, we've been telling you that for 10 years. Welcome to the party. So I'm looking forward to a fun game 5. I'm looking forward to a very close one, but Fox, we have to be those people. I have to give and ask this question because that's my job. Who are you picking? What is your prediction for this map 5? Is it going to be a Team Moon win, or are we looking at a very highly contested S&D like we saw in game 2?
Oh man, that's a tough call. I definitely think it's going to be highly contested search and destroy. We're not going to see the punishment that we just saw unfold on Garrison Hardpoint. It's going to be back and forth. And I'm going to say in the end, Team Moon's going to close it out. I think that PD is going to continue the hot hand that we saw in map 1 and in map 4. And the stellar positioning that we saw out of him in map 2, the search and destroy, which is of course the most important in this non-respawn game mode. I think that we're going to see Team Moon just close it out here in the end.
You know, I don't know what I think. I just want to see good Call of Duty. I don't have a prediction. I don't care. I want to see this go around 11, 1v1. I don't care who it is. All I want is fantastic S&D. That's what we're going to get. I believe the players are ready. We are ready to go. Let's get into it. This is our back-to-back second best of 5, and more importantly, map number 5 of our best of 5. It's gone the distance both times, but these teams have been just absolutely lights out today. Europe has had a good showing so far, and after this is North America, but we got to get through Team Moon and Elite 2 first. And trades begin to fall back and forth, and you're looking at a 2v3, potentially a 4v nothing, because everyone drops, and that was a very awkward and quick round 1.
Swift opening to the round 1 there. If you're just tuning in, we've got 2 game 5s back-to-back in our final EU matchup of the day. CP on your round ending kill camp, able to put it away for the team. They're just coming off of the back of a colossal lead in a hardpoint map that they were able to secure for a victory on Garrison Hardpoint. We've seen Raid one other time in this series, and it was on a respawn game mode. Lots of back and forth, very competitive brawl, as all 4 players seem to be committed towards the B site for this offensive push coming from Team Moon.
So far pushed up is Grad. Genesis on your screen might get lucky with timing, but the glass is there, so that audio will come through. But a great call, and Rafi able to even out the odds. Bomb going down. The long rotation from Wardy. He's working through the back. He might catch someone in art, but he slips away.
PD getting away with his life right there is huge, because now that means they can play for this flank, or they could try and stay towards middle map. But either way, the way that it's planted, they're able to see it from poolside. So him getting away with his life right there is going to be huge for how this 2v2 unfolds.
2v1. Bomb down. Hockey thinking about going for at least the defuse. Tagged up. Kill there. Not much you can do. Team Moon now up 2-0, and it seems like, at least for the start, because again, who knows how COD plays out, but the momentum is certainly on their side. They play the numbers right, they play the bull rush right in round 1, and they're up early.
And we saw in that offensive round right there, the play call of sending 2 submachine gun players straight towards Laundry ended up buying PD enough time to just rush plant, get the bomb down, and hightail it out there towards poolside, and it ended up unfolding beautifully for them right there. 3 straight kills from Terrence. Deathless so far, he is. On the opposite side, we have Wardy, one of the more powerful players in the last few maps for the side of Elite 2. Killless. We'll have to see what happens as they take their offensive round. Bomb sat towards middle map, met by 2 different Team Moon players on defense.
Hockey's looking for first blood. That might open up the site, but again, Moon are not relinquishing their numbers. There is the first blood. Now the call should be coming through for the bomb to advance. But does he get spotted? That's the question. Grad in the back, takes down Brezzy. Nade out. Rafi, everyone drops. I mean, you can't even read it faster than that. Elite 2 find their first round, and once that first blood came through, it was a collapse in onto Spiral, and everyone just fell.
Yeah, absolutely. After the first blood, it all kind of crumbled. Being caught off guard on the middle map by the submachine gun player coming from pool was probably not in the back of their mind. And as we saw it happen, it just kind of all fell apart from there. So another offensive opportunity coming from the side of Team Moon. So far, a hot start from them in this search and destroy. Still very early stages of it, of course. PD, the bomb carrier. Gunfights going down on middle map, and we can see it just ends up resulting in a trade, and the bomb carrier actually getting stellar positioning, moving up straight through Laundry. Now we can see them start to move towards the A site and get the bomb down because they've cleared it out.
The cojones on these guys. The Stones, I love the decision. They move through money, and they just say, we're going to take the gunfight right to Tiki. Who cares? Bomb will go down,
planted.
long rotation. Oh my god, this is weird.
Very weird. Planted for the Laundry side. Raffi coming up straight through mid. He's going to peek it immediately and catches him before he runs away. Genesis does not peek, but Raffi has an idea of where he's at because of where the bomb is planted. So we see the tacticals and lethals coming out. They don't connect, but they do give him a little bit of information, at least temporarily. Raffi is hoping that he can force Genesis to peek him for the bomb and call him on his bluff. But with the way that the bomb is planted, Raffi knows that he can't do it because of that window positioning. Genesis takes it, he hides in the corner, hugging it, and that's what happens when you have good post-plant positioning, right? He was able to sit and play his life around Laundry and force Raffi to try and make the play, which, as you can see here in your round and kill cam, he ends up failing.
Raffi didn't even think about just, pre-fire. Went in there a little bit blind. So weak, but Team Moon still get the round. Now just 3 more away from closing out the series in Game 5. If you remember last time in S&D on Miami, it was back and forth all the way towards, round 9? Before finally we saw a bit of a breakaway. But that bomb, it moves up to B. No first blood yet. Utility is out. The stuns connects with no one. Neither will the nade. We know people are here. We absolutely know. There goes the stun. Trophy's out. That bomb's going down regardless.
Resi knows there's someone on circle, but hearing the objective get planted, he has to respond quickly. That he does as he finds 1 kill. Teammate over his shoulder connects with the second at range with the AK-74U. They have to worry about Wardy. He's tagged up top Laundry, but he's free to re-peek whenever he wants. Excellent cover and excellent positioning in the post-plant situation. He jumps out, connects with yet another kill. That's 3 straight. He's working on the ace. Terrence is the last one alive. Will he give it to him? He's tagged up behind the van. He does not. Terrence is able to shut him down, and that's a big stop as Team Moon finds another round win with this bomb defuse.
Wardy was causing headaches the entire round, and I don't blame him. What a great position in top Laundry to just continue to pepper players. The nade out, couldn't pick up PD, but that nade stalls out the defense to come in for the defuse and buys him enough time to again repeat. Prezi stood no chance. Wardy almost basically 1v4s the round, but at the end of the day, you can only do so much. You need help from the rest of your team. Team Moon now up, if I remember correctly, because my memory is awful, 4-1, and it will be. 3 and 4 for Rezi, Terrence at 5 and 2, Genesis 4 and 3 down the line. On the other side, Wardy again having a great S&D. Not much from Hockey. Brad and Rafi about same situation.
Whatever the conclusion,
so crucial.
Right. And whatever the conclusion of the search and destroy, if you want something to go back and watch, it'll be the perspectives of Wardy and Rafi for the side of Elite 2 at least. On the side of Team Moon, it might just be bomb carrier PD. Genesis gets first blood by Hockey. That could spell trouble, especially with the fact that Team Moon, they're on offense. They're 3 versus 4 with the bomb in hand. But, of course, Team Elite 2 in stellar defensive positioning with that man advantage is going to be really difficult to work out of, especially with Grad, who's able to sit pretty comfortably here around rocks on mid.
We've seen a couple of times players getting picked through Zig wall. Something they will quickly learn about. Grad's going to back up. Bomb slowly advancing to A. On the outside, it's Wardy. Numbers start to drop. Rafi again will find a kill. 4 and 4 now. 2 alive. PD, your bomb carrier. What do? You really have no map awareness, at least just in terms of the numbers for Elite 2. Not a lot of information. The cross comes through. Hockey's able to cut 1. PD with the challenge. Hockey might get both. PD has something to say about it. 20 seconds to go, but they know where he is, and they're going to collapse in on him, or at least hold their positions. He can't really run anywhere, and that's the problem, right? When you only have 2 alive, 2v4, bombs in a weird spot, you still have control, but where do you run? You can't go to pool. You can't go back to spiral. You have to make a decision. you have to hope they're just dumb enough to challenge you one at a time, but they won't do that. And man, it just gets more difficult as this round goes on, but 4-2.
Nothing standing out too much so far in terms of the kill feed this game. That's very much unlike the first Search and Destroy, where the ARs were far and away past a lot of their teammates. This time around, it seems to be even contribution across the board, especially from the side of Wardy. Big kill right there with the submachine gun. Trade, though, as they sent 2 players to sniff him out. Come out on top there with the kill. 3 versus 3. Grad with the bomb and his teammates all on board with the B bomb site plant. And now it's going to be up to Team Moon for the 3v3 retake.
Let's say get that bomb down as quickly as possible. Now you have info. Rezi is in the back. If you don't get re-peeked, you have to know that he's at least on an island. And now you start to look towards the numbers at mid. And Grad gets that call. He understands the position he's in. Terran's going to get shut down. Great peek. Grad can't find the second. The challenge might come through from Genesis. It will. Great shots there. Everyone getting cut down, but Elite 2 playing the middle map perfectly. And they're bringing this S&D back.
I think what we're seeing out of Elite a lot, as you said, especially as it pertains to control on middle map, it's coming from the Krig players. I mean, they're holding down a lane, and that's just the end of it, right? You're not getting past it. And they have that crossfire. They always have that support. I mean, it's something Team Moon really has to get to the bottom of.
Well, it's basically, you know, we're kind of treading the similar waters we had in the first S&D in map 2 of this series, right? I mean, back and forth, a little bit of a breakaway from Team Moon, but so far we've been leveling it out. First blood's been a big factor in hockey. Again, we'll find first blood. Numbers advantage for Elite 2, map advantage for Elite 2. But that bomb goes down still. 42 seconds on the clock. Numbers are there. How do you play it?
Bomb down, but the man disadvantage for Team Moon. They have turned their offense into a defense, and now the onus is on Elite 2 to make a play. Rafi opens up with a big kill, turning this into a 4 versus 2, but Brezzy is in a stellar situation to defend the bomb. Can he defend himself? That he can with the pistol. Krig back out, and he's able to connect with 2. That should be more than enough for Terrence to close out the round here. Great positioning, excellent pistol play coming from Team Moon as they find 2 kills with it at bottom bedroom. And now they're at map point here, Space. Team Moon could close it out on game 5.
That's a 2v4 that should not work out. And wow, once that bomb goes down, I don't know how in the world Terrence pulls off that 1v2. But man, that is a backbreaker.
That it is, and we see how crucial post-plant positioning has been on Raid S&D. So many bomb plants this game. Actually, exactly 5 so far out of our 8 rounds. We're seeing the opening kills, a flurry of kills already opening up in the middle of the map here with bomb down.
I think they thought this was a hard point for a moment. Everybody just ran at each other. That bomb is in no man's land. It'll get picked up finally. But Wardy gets spotted and tagged through the wall. He will rotate out. And I think you just go for a quick plan here. I know you don't know where they are, but the longer you take, the more info you give, that you're not overextending. Here comes the plant. Love the decision. Rafi and Wardy versus Genesis and Breezy. Breezy tagged. Rafi gonna back up. Such a dangerous retreat. Could have gotten caught out. But that bomb is planted on the defensive side, so you can have eyeballs over it, and it won't get ninja'd. Breezy thinking about it. Playing time. Genesis gonna go for the peek, and he won't win the gunfight. Wardy takes down Genesis 2v1. 1v1. Brezzy, perfect timing. Brezzy, perfect timing. Brezzy, perfect timing. Is he gonna get there in time?
He's got it. He's got it.
And that'll be the game. 6-3. What a clutch. Talk about a 2v1 in the prior round from Terrence. Brezzy, same situation. Everybody leaves. You know the deal. Team Moon taking it. And what a way to do it.
What an incredible finish coming from the side of Team Moon. That S&D, much like the first one that we saw, full of a lot of tactical gameplay. We saw many 2 versus 2 situations where I guess your hours that you put into the dubs ladders on game battles is what's going to bring you out in the victory in the end there. And I mean, It was just an awesome show to watch, coming all the way to the finish there.
A lot of 1v2s, a lot of 2v1s, a lot of first bloods that always seem to work out, but that last round was chaotic, Fox. We watched everyone run mid-map at each other, which I don't think I've seen in S&D this year, which was quite interesting. But Ali, looking at this series, Team Moon finally taking S&D. They look explosive in the respawns, there's no question about that. But the S&D was a struggle on Miami. They closed it out in Raid. What were you taking note of or keeping your eye on as this series played out?
So my big thing when it comes to Team Moon is that they are so good at respawn. And the reason they are so good at respawn is they play so this is a play style that I personally like as well, is they play incredibly close to the point, which is what not a lot of teams tend to do. And the only time Team Moon kind of fell behind was when they got it kind of spread out on the map, when they got kind of split up. But every other time when they were together and playing together, they would pull the pace back. I mean, you would take one down and you'd have 3 more to answer to. So that was a huge factor. And I feel like Team Moon's success when it comes to respawn. S&D, kind of the same thing. When they were all on top of each other, their trades always went in their favor. And I feel like if they can just consistently keep that up, I mean, they are looking like their ceiling is so high going into the rest of this season.
And we'll take a look at the schedule for the remainder of today, but Fox, kind of your closing thoughts as well on that entire series and a little bit of what we've seen from Europe to the start of season 2.
2 game 5s right off the bat, lots of new teams. I mean, we're getting a good first taste of exactly what we're going to see throughout the rest of Stage 2, at least with these new rosters that we're seeing in the mix. I got to say, it's been really exciting so far to see the stellar performances from players that have adopted the Krieg and this new gun meta that we have in Call of Duty Black Ops. I'm really excited to see what comes of our closing North American region matchups tonight.
We got Fantastic Four and Subliners Academy up first, and then Easter versus Higher for North America. And we'll see those matches at 5 Pacific time and 8 Eastern time later today. So we got about an hour and a half, 2 hours before we will see North America come play, but that gives them some time to warm up and get all of their body shot and get all that out of your system. But it's been an interesting day for Europe. A lot of back and forth action in the S&Ds, and the controls have been anything but normal. It's been defensive round wins in the most inopportune times, and offenses have been stomping, but everyone else essentially sits where they needed to. And what an impressive win from Team Moon, and what an impressive win at the end of the day from Passion. I love what I'm seeing from them, and more importantly, I love the passion I'm seeing for Passion. But we will see you guys in about 2 hours time with North America. Remember, 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern, and we'll see you guys then.